EVO, the biggest fighting game event of the year, is happening this weekend. And what better way to salute all these warriors coming together than by arguing over characters? Hey everybody, it's me, Aaron Thorgy, and I am joined today by a special guest.
Hello everyone, I am Ultima or Ultima Shadow online, and I proposed to Thorgy that now that we have finally wrapped up our Street Fighter Retrospective, that we should go through all the characters that have been playable throughout the series. I think that'd be a fun way to look it over. I was a big fan of the Darkstalkers tier list, so I thought, why not do it for the World Warriors?
This video has been a long time coming, and I mean that quite literally, because yes, you proposed to me, hey, I would love to do a tier list of all the Street Fighter characters when you're done with the Street Fighter Retrospective. And I said, okay, that sounds great, let's do that. And then the Street Fighter Retrospective ended up taking me 2.5 years.
You had to make sure you talked about the movie. That was very important, so I get it.
Oh my God. Okay, before we get to the tier list, everybody's waiting for the tier list. You guys can just jump ahead if you want to get to that. But before we get to that, I gotta just bring that up. Yeah, you talked to me at like the end of 2023. Hey, when you're done with this, I'd love to do this. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'll probably be done in like 3 months or something with that. And then it was like, oh wait, this requires a lot more talking about than I thought. And okay, well, I'm just gonna throw in some stuff about the movie, and oh my God, how is all the conversation about the movie longer than some of the individual games? Okay, well, we gotta talk about that, but I'm going to wrap everything up with part 5 and part 6 together. Oh wait, I forgot what a train wreck part 5 was. So yeah, it was a beast. This thing got out of hand faster than I think any video I've ever worked on. And I mentioned it in the retrospective. There are people out there who don't know what this channel was like before the Street Fighter Retrospective. So this is going to be very interesting to finally do brand new retrospectives. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get to those, I have to slay the beast that is the Street Fighter tier list. So as you can see in here, we have a list that I found online of all the various Street Fighter characters. And I'm just going to say this right now. We are only ranking playable characters. I have to point that out right now because the tier list that I found online included everybody. And I mean everybody. Not just from Street Fighter. We got the Fatal Fury guest characters. We got all the Final Fight jobbers in here. We got characters from Marvel vs. Capcom in there. We got all the individual dolls, which you could make an argument for them being included in this, but they've never been playable. I gotta put the rules down somewhere. So yeah, we're not doing non-playable characters. Although shout out to them for including Xinglong down here. And there are some good World Tour characters in here, but yeah, we gotta put the cutoff somewhere. They include Daigo in here from Rival Schools because he appears in Akira Super.
I was gonna say, this isn't, we're not going through the entire Capcom Fighter database when they're doing Street Fighter 5 when like anybody who like appeared once would have like a whole profile card. We're not gonna go that deep.
No, oh God. I applaud those guys for doing that, but oh my God, you set like high expectations for anybody who thinks a character could appear in this franchise now. So yeah, we're not doing that. You're lucky we're including the EX characters in here. That was a discussion that we had to have about do we include them, and then we were like, well, you gotta put Skullomania in there.
Yeah, of course. You can't just only rank Skullomania and not mention the others for sure.
Okay, so as you can see, we have A, B, C, and D at the top. Instead of S-Class, we called it World Warriors. Makes sense. And then at the bottom is just some guy. And that doesn't mean F tier. That doesn't mean they're the worst. There's some characters in the Street Fighter history who are just nobodies. There's
not much to say about them, for sure.
So it's like, yeah, they're just... And you're gonna see some of them real quick. But all right, it's time that we finally jump into this. First off, Ryu. Ryu is either C-Class or World Warrior, and there's no in between, because there's gonna be people who argue, well, he's kind of basic. He's like the most basic fighting game guy out there. But that's why he's World Warrior. It's because he's the blueprint. He's the guy.
Because for me, like, a factor for a character is, like, it's their playstyle, but also, like, how they fit into the lore and their personality and, like, them as a character. And I think, like, yeah, Ryu's like John fighting games, but like he gets away with it because like he's the guy, you know? And I will say, to the credit of the story at least, like I do think he has grown as a character, and yes. Street Fighter 6 made him very, very endearing with like him being like out of touch technology-wise which is, I think, is just a very charming trait. You know what I mean? Like,
it is incredibly charming, but it also took the things that we do know about him and it made it interesting. Like, I always point this out. When you're talking to him and he goes, yeah, whenever I travel, I love checking out all the different locations. I love checking out all the cultures, and I go to festivals in every country I go to. It's like, oh, right, he's the world warrior. He travels the world. Of course he would find that interesting.
He has the growth as well, because, like, I do love that he is why Sagat has the scar, and then, you know, he's trying to, like, fight the, you know, the Hado's influence and sort of, like, never have an incident like that happen again. And then overcoming it in 5, which, I mean, we don't get to see, but it still happened.
There is still progression of his character, yes, and there's so many other, like, not even fighting games, but just games in general that aren't willing to do that. Because, well, if you progress the character, then what do you do with them afterwards? And this game and Street Fighter actually realized, like, no, you can't just keep having him fight the Dark Hado forever. And also, his journey is he always wants to get stronger, he always wants to challenge himself, and I feel like because he is Mr. Fighting Games, that is the embodiment of fighting games. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he is if you had to pick one character to be the representative of fighting games as a genre, like Mario is for platformers, Ryu is for fighting games, and I feel like he definitely has to be that guy up there on fighting game Mount Rushmore.
I absolutely agree, yeah. I think, like, if Ryu was that sort of character that never really progressed and was just going through the paces, even if he was the blueprint, I'd be like, but I do like that he's radically changed as a character over the years, and I appreciate that a lot. So I feel like you can't give him anything lower than the World Warrior, because he is the World Warrior, quite literally.
It's named after him, yes, it has to happen. Next up, Ken. He's definitely at least A.
I have to agree. I think, like, for the longest time, I kind of always found Ken a little bit more endearing than Ryu, just because I do like the family angle that he has going on. I really do like when characters have, like, established relationships. It anchors them a little bit, and I do love, you know, Ken and Mel, you know, and his son. The interactions that they have are very funny, and I think it makes him endearing because, like, he's the hot-headed, you know, playboy, and then he actually has to settle down and take care of things and run his company, and I know it's controversial because I don't know if everybody, like, kind of liked the angle that they pushed in 6, but I do kind of like seeing someone who was at the top, like Ken, like, who, I mean, pretty much never, like, had to go through anything like Ryu did, have to take a fall for something, right? Like, yeah. I do think that's very interesting that they sort of put him on the back pedal in his life in 6.
Also, he had always been more aggressive than Ryu, like that. He was the hothead, so kind of seeing him sort of reconnecting with that side of him, being the rebellious Shoto, I guess. Yeah, I do think that is an interesting thing to do with him, but I'm glad you brought up the family angle and also the business angle of him, because he is a character that has a lot of growth and a lot of progression as the series goes on, because I just mentioned he was the hothead, and then he had to settle down, and he had to take responsibility with the company, but when push came to shove in 6, you saw that was still in there. The only thing is, I'm wondering if he's World Warrior, because I'll admit, I am very strict when it comes to, like, the S-class on this, because in my mind, I'm like, there's a lot of characters. How many of them are the top of the top? And Ken's great. He's definitely A, but I don't know if he's World Warrior.
Yeah, I respect that. I think, like, if you put too many characters in S tier, it kind of waters down the impact of them
then
being
what's the
in
point?
the S tier. Yeah, it sort of reduces the point. I definitely understand why you would put him in A, especially because, like, even though I really like what happened to him with 6, I know that was, like, kind of a controversial move for some of his fans that I didn't like how that happened. So I personally liked it, but I don't know if people would consider it to be executed as well as Ryu's growth, if that makes any sense, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to put him at the top of A for now, but we might come back to that.
Yes.
Next up, because we're in the Street Fighter 1 category right now, Retsu. People love Retsu.
Unironically, I think, like, if this guy actually got his playable debut in something, I would put him high. I mean, I don't think he's just some guy. I definitely don't think that. I think he does have an interesting connection to some of the other characters, you know, being a past friend of, like, Gouken, and I like that he shows up in Street Fighter 6, like, in the World Tour.
That was great.
It's just one of those characters I feel like there just isn't enough of him to be like, oh yeah, this guy's really cool, but I wish there was more. So, like, I'm willing to, like, give him, like, D or C just because I wish there was more to him.
I would definitely go C. I would definitely go C because people do really like him, but it's weird to me whenever people say they like him. I'm like, why? I don't, like, where did you get the information that you like about him? But it does exist, and yeah, when he appeared in 6 and he started talking about his backstory, I was like, oh, you know what, you're kind of cool. I can see you I'd be fine with Retsu coming back. He's like the last Street Fighter 1 character who hasn't returned yet, who I would be cool with seeing return.
Yeah, it's worth noting that he was supposed to be in Capcom Fighting Jam before that got scrapped,
Yes.
So I really am curious what that would have played like.
That is so weird to think about that. All right, these next couple should be easy. I'm gonna say right now, Geki, Joe, Mike, and Lee are just some guy.
Yeah.
Like Geki, he's a ninja, so there's something there. Joe and Mike are just dudes. That's it, it's just a pair of dudes. Lee, I know there's some backstory to him, but you gotta go looking for it. And I think if you gotta look that hard for it,
Yeah, that and I feel like his sort of like style, he's kind of like a sauceless again. I did like in Street Fighter V when they made a joke about Mike and Balrog not being the same person. I thought that was pretty funny.
I am so glad they addressed that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, they are just some guy. Geki, like, he is a ninja, but I don't think he's like an inspired ninja design like Vega is, or like some of the other Street Fighter ninjas. It's just a ninja. Yeah, so I agree with these guys. Definitely just jobber material.
Also, we should point out that the director of Street Fighter 6, when he was asked what's Lee been up to, and it's like, he retired from fighting and now he sells real estate. Like, he literally was like, he's never coming back. There's nothing interesting about that guy. He got a desk job.
I love when Nakayama will just go on Twitter and like just drop lore stuff that's like completely random out of nowhere. We're like, oh, okay, I guess this is, I guess this is true.
I love that he came out and dropped a ton right before the final video I put up went up, and I was like, man, if you had waited one more month, I would have had egg on my face forever. Like, I would have had to make an addendum to that Street Fighter retrospective. All right, Gin. Where are you feeling Gin?
Dude, I'm not gonna front. I like genuinely, I cannot play this character at all.
No.
I think he's too hard. That being said, I think he genuinely is one of the most underrated characters in the franchise. I like his relationship to Chun-Li and Chun-Li's dad, like that mentor figure, that assassin. I like that he like, well, I mean, he's still alive, I guess, because Akuma can't kill anyone. But I like that he wanted to fight Akuma and go out like in an honorable battle, and like Akuma was holding back because he knew Gen was sick. Like that whole like dynamic between them, I think that's genuinely so cool. And we don't really have like a stance character. I'm trying to think of who else would like be considered a stance character.
I was literally just thinking that, like, who else is a stance fighter in this franchise?
I guess Zeku, because you go young and old, but like that's
yes,
it. Like
that's true.
That's like all I can think of, and I think Gen genuinely is an insanely cool character that does not get his dues nearly as often as he should. One of my favorite special intros in the Alpha series is him and Akuma's, where they trade blows and he like blocks a raging demon. It's so
That's
cool.
great.
It's so cool.
It's so good. He's at least a B to me. Would you put him in A?
I mean, I'm fine with B or A. I definitely think he's just pretty underrated, and I think like a lot of people, because I think a lot of people, when they see Gen, they play him and they're like, oh, this guy's hard, and they don't look into him again. But I feel like the backstory and lore that he has is insanely cool.
So I would put him at high B for now, and then we'll maybe push him up to A later. All right, Birdie. I almost feel like we need two different Birdies in here, one for the Alpha games and one for Street Fighter V. Because Street Fighter V is a D. I honestly found that offensive what they did with him.
Yeah, I have to agree.
But in the Alpha games, I'm like, he's cool. He's all right. Like, I'd put him in a C for then, but man, he is, when they did that character poll, he was the lowest rated, like, canonical Street Fighter character. The only characters lower than him were like characters from like spin-off games and stuff that had never appeared.
Yeah, I don't know why they felt the need to do that, because like, okay, I'm not gonna say like Birdie was the most serious character in the Alpha games, but he was like a cool British punk. Like you could see that was the vibe they went with. He's like a cool punk, British street guy.
He was like a street brawler guy who wanted to rise in the ranks among like all the other dirty criminals down there. Yeah, I don't know what they did with him. And I keep thinking, like, somebody on the Street Fighter team around that time just really thought fat guys were funny. Because they also had Rufus, who was literally just a bunch of fat jokes. But Rufus at least had other things. Once you got to Street Fighter V, Birdie, every line out of his mouth is just, I'm so hungry. Oh, I need to eat something. I'm like, oh my God, Birdie, come on, man.
Yeah, it's like not even in line of his old personality in the Alpha games, where he was just like you said, like there was that he was trying to climb the ranks to be like some criminal, you know, boss, but like, and I guess there's like a little bit because he wants to work for Shadaloo in 5, but like everything else is just like so washed out. Like, yeah, I don't think Birdie, I think Birdie, if it was just his alpha appearance, I would still give him a C because I do like his design, but like after what they did with him in 5, I can't go, yeah, I think D is fine. It just sucks.
Plus, we gotta put somebody in D, and I'm looking at the rest of this like, I don't know how many characters are gonna go in D. There's a lot of good characters in Street Fighter. So yeah, Birdie 5, put him down to here. Yeah, the Alpha games, I do think he's a C, because yeah, he's all right. He's got a cool design. I also really liked him in the Alpha movie. But yeah, it's Street Fighter 5 knocked him down to there. Eagle.
What a cool dude. He's so cool. But I think he's in line with Retsu for me, where he's really cool, and I love his playable appearances. Like, I loved him in CVS. I really liked him in the Alpha 3 port he was in. I think his moveset is really, really cool. But like, yeah, and he's just like a classy, cool dude, but I just wish there was more to him, right? You know? Yeah,
here's the thing. If this was, again, if he had never come back for the Alpha games, I'd be putting him in Just Some Guy, because again, he'd be Just Some Guy. However, I really liked him in the Alpha game. I really liked him in there, but the thing is, his whole storyline in there, it is just, I just want to fight strong people. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's a lot of these characters. However, there is something to this British guy who is dressed incredibly fancy with his very nice, well-ironed button-up shirt and a well-coiffed hair and mustache, but he just wants to beat the crap out of people. Something about the design mixed with that motivation makes him so interesting to me. If there was any character from 1 who I'd want to return, it'd be Eagle, but honestly, even just looking beyond 1, he's still maybe in like my top 5 characters I want to see return. Definitely top 10.
I would love to see that character return, but I just wish there was more to him within the lore and the world that like tied him to other things. But like, yeah, I would put him on par with Retsu for sure.
I put him like right there. Like in my heart, I would love to put him in B, but you're right, there's not enough. When you think about how many characters are going to end up in B, because it's probably going to be a lot. Yeah, I know he can't stand with them. Adon.
This guy is hated, and I don't know why. I do not get it.
I used to hate him. I did used to hate him because I just found him to be kind of annoying, but the more I got into him, the more I'm like, oh no, he's Starscream. He's the Muay Thai Starscream. He's the guy, he's got the big high-pitched whiny, yes, Sagat, yes, like he's got that big high-pitched voice, but I love Starscream. So the moment I started thinking of him like that, and I was like, yeah, this guy was just constantly trying to fight the big dog out there and constantly trying to be the biggest character out there. Like, yeah, I kind of respect that. I love that.
Yeah, I love his dynamic, especially how he's like, you know, Sagat, you're washed, like, I'm better than you, and now I'm gonna prove it. I love that attitude. Like, I think that's really cool as well, because that was kind of what happened to him in 4. And I think his moveset is fun. Like, I think Jaguar Kick's like such a fun move to use. I really like playing him in 4 a lot. I always will remember, like, people thought that he was pretty low tier, and then Gamer B won a bunch of stuff with Adon in 4, and that was, like, super fun to watch as well. And I honestly, I like his, I mean, it's a hat, right? It's not his hair. I could never tell.
Oh, you mean, oh, yeah, his Vegeta hair? I don't know.
Yeah, and I really did like, again, I do like how he turns on Sagat after Sagat gets beaten. And I think that's like an interesting dynamic where it's like an apprentice character, but like they turn on the master, and that's not like too common. You know what I mean? For a lot of the other apprentice characters in this game, so.
It is really interesting, yeah. I can't put him in A, but I definitely put him in B.
No way. Yeah. I'm willing to say C or B. I mean, I think he's overhated. Like, I'm willing to give him a B, but I'm willing to say C as well. I like him enough though to put him in B.
Next up, Sagat. I think this guy's A, and I don't even think there's much argument that needs to be made there. Like, maybe World War... Like, I wouldn't go World Warrior, because if he's not in a game, I'm not like, where's Sagat? But I do think that, yeah, he has definitely got one of the most interesting stories in the entire franchise. Like, we're talking about character growth. He's got some of the best. Going from, like, this noble warrior who was, like, the top of the food chain in the fighting world. Then he gets this scar, and it drives him nuts. And then slowly he has to face his demons and admit, like, I've kind of gone down a bad route here. And I'm not the man I used to be, and I don't want to be this guy anymore. And I love where he is now. I think it's great.
Yeah, he has, I think also, like you mentioned his growth, I think his design over time has only gotten better. Like, they just dropped his Street Fighter 6 trailer recently, and I love the design that he has now. Where
It's
he's, like,
so
older.
good.
I also, one of the things about him that I really liked was, like, I believe it's he let Dan beat him because he didn't want Dan to, like, go down a dark road.
And this was
right?
back when he was still a full-blown villain in the franchise. So even then, they're like, no, he's got some nobility to him. Like, he's definitely still got a good side to him. Like, even back in the day, when all these villains were just cardboard cutouts, he still had something to him.
Definitely a character who's overcome revenge, and I'm really curious if they're gonna do anything, because like in 5, he kind of was like fighting off the Hado influences, and I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna continue with anything with that. But yeah, I just think like for a fighting game villain, like the road that he has turned or taken down, I think is extremely interesting. And yeah, I definitely think like probably some of the most interesting character growth in this series as well. Also, gameplay-wise, like, I really like doing Kara stuff, and I think, like, he's, like, the poster boy for that, especially in 4, and that's a lot of fun as well. So, yeah, I definitely enjoy Sagat. I definitely would say he's A tier.
Next up, we've got some of the Metro City characters in here because this list goes by the date that they first appeared in any game. So, yeah, we've got some Final Fight guys in here. We've literally got Final Fight guy in here. Guy I like, but I'm gonna go C with him because I like him. But if you ask me, like, what characters have to return for Street Fighter, I don't know if I'm ever really going to say Guy. Like, I'm cool whenever he appears, but right now, if you came to me and said, hey, you can press a button to remove Kimberly from Street Fighter 6 and Guy takes her place, I'm not pressing that button.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like, Guy, he has the most iterations of him that aren't him. Because there's Maki, there's Zeku, and there's Kimberly, who are all in the same style, but they have their own, like, unique aspects of the style to them, of the Bushinryu style. So it's interesting because, like, I think because he's had version, like Bushinryu characters that are adjacent to him that I like the design of, like, more, or, like, the story of more, like, yeah, he's kind of, like, on the lower end because, like, no other character has, like, that many, like, iterations that aren't them besides maybe, like, the Shotos, you know, if you want to, like,
I was gonna say, the Shotos is pretty much it.
Yeah, so, yeah, because, like, I just think Guy is the least interesting of, like, the Bushinryu characters, you know what I mean? But he's the blueprint, so I can't really, like, fault him for that, you know what I mean?
Like, he's not bad. He's totally fine. But everyone around him is more interesting. Like, Cody is more interesting than him. Maki's more interesting than him. Zeku's got some flavor to him. Yeah, I know there are hardcore Guy fans out there, but it's like, yeah, he's fine. I think he's all right.
Yeah.
I like him. Speaking of that, Cody, I'm gonna go B for Cody.
You think so? I think, like, okay, maybe because, I mean, I think his design definitely got more inspired over the years of just generic white guy, but I have to say, I think it is bold to take the pro tag of your beat 'em up and be like, actually, he couldn't stop beating people and he goes to jail, and then he turns his life around and becomes mayor? That's crazy.
You got a point. Yeah, he definitely has some of the best character progression of anybody in this franchise. Also, there's a whole bunch of lore around him that he's like one of the strongest characters in the series. Yeah. You know what? I think you kind of talked me into it. I think maybe going up to A on that.
Yeah, I would definitely say A, because, like, I think another thing about his move set that's really fun is, like, yeah, obviously there's the Final Fight characters, but if I had to put a pinpoint on which one plays the most like they're from Final Fight, I'd say it's Cody, because of just how he utilizes things in the environment with the knife and, like, the chucking the rocks and everything in that, you know, regard, I feel like is just perfect. In fact, like, I remember one of his supers in Alpha 3 is, like, the stun lock, like, glitch you could do from Final Fight, where you jab, and then turn around and then jab. Like, it's very inspired, like, compared to the other Fight on Fight characters, where he definitely feels like he is playing a beat 'em up. And yeah, I think there's so many interesting aspects to his character that make him way more, like, deceivingly interesting. You think about what he's gone through, and you're like, oh my god, wait, this is actually a really cool character.
All right, now we got all the Mad Gear guys from Final Fight. Saddam, what do you think of Saddam?
Okay, I think it's funny that he's just a big weeaboo.
Yes.
I like that I think that's a very funny thing to his character, where he's just, like, LARPing as, like, a samurai. And I like that he has, like, the different weapons. That being said, like, I don't think like lore-wise, like I don't think he's an interesting character. I think he's fun to play and he looks cool, but that's like it, you know?
He is a fun character, but I don't know if I ever need him to return. I guess it'd be like if he pops up in Street Fighter 6 in the next season of DLC, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I will not lose my mind over it though. I would go low B because people really do like him. The joke is funny with him, but I don't know how much higher I can go.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just, this is a character that's fun to play and looks cool, and that's it.
Rolento, I think Rolento's C. He's fine, I think. He breaks every game he's in, I'll say that.
Yeah, I think I like his design. I like that he uses the grenades. Like, he's a very unconventional, tricky character.
Yeah.
I never liked his, like, moveset or playstyle, like, as much as, like, Sodom. But I do think he's cool. He has, like, this whole army. One of my favorite supers is the Noose, the No Mercy one. I think that's a really sick super. I mean, yeah, I think I like him a little bit more than, like, Eagle or Retsu, just because I think he's more established for sure. But yeah, I don't think he's a character where I'm like, oh, I really need Rolento back.
Hugo! I have no idea where to put Hugo. I don't know how I feel about him.
I love his, like, I love his voice, like, first off. I like his voice and his, like, his send up to Andre the Giant. I think for the grapplers in this series, he's definitely, like, the most imposing. Like, I think design-wise to me, he's the most imposing. That being said, like, I don't know, like, personality-wise, he's kind of like a goofball. I think, like, well, Street Fighter 4 kind of made a lot of characters goofballs, but he's kind of just a goofball in those games. He's much more cool and serious in 3. Yeah, I mean, I would put him, like, next to Rolento, if only, like, that I really do like his, like, I do like elements of his character, but not enough to be like, oh yeah, like, Hugo's a favorite, you know?
Yeah, like, I like that they came in here and said, what if we made the biggest grappler in the world? What if we made took all the big guys we had before and made somebody who towers over them? And I think that is cool. But one of the big reasons why I can't put him any higher than C is because whenever I think of Hugo, I'm just like, yeah, but Poison.
Yeah.
Poison's the best thing about Hugo.
It's true. It's really true. I really love Poison. I like her moveset. Like, this was the character I played the most in Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I really like her moveset. I like that she has a riding crop weapon. And I also, the whip, I mean, her moveset in 5 was super inspired. The whip was a very cool choice. And I do like that she becomes like a fight promoter, wrestling manager. And then in 5, she kind of like has grown as a person, has like sort of not been in Metro City for a while, I believe, from what I remember. Which is also an interesting thing about her character. So, yeah, I mean, like, design-wise and just her use of weapons, I think, is super, super fun. And what a way to take, like, a jobber, beat him up, and sort of turn him into this beloved character, right?
Yeah, she is so beloved, and it's not just the design, although her design definitely plays into it some, but just personality, everything around her, yeah, definitely there is a lot to this character that people love. And there is a part of me that's like, okay, I put her up there in A just because it's like, well, yeah, she's popular, put her in A, but I'm like, we got a lot of popular ones in B. B or A? Which one do you think?
I feel like, so the thing about her is like her design's great, her moveset's really fun, and I think she's a fun character. I don't know if she has like as much going on as some of the other characters in A. Like, to me, I think she's right below Gen or right next to Gen, like either or. I think you could put her above Gen if you wanted. Like, I feel like she's top of B, right?
Yeah, I think we'll put it like that for now.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, I put her up in A because I'm like, well, people really love her. But the more I'm thinking about it, I was like, there's a lot of characters in B who people love. So yeah, we're going to put her down there for now. But I definitely think she's one of those characters who, if we're talking about a character who, if they reappear in Street Fighter 6, people would lose their mind, Poison would be way up there. Who will not be way up there is Abigail.
Dude, I remember when they were like showing off the Metro City in World Tour, and I saw like Abigail's tires, and I'm like, oh no, please. Okay. No, I can't. Dude, I think what upsets me is like, this is like one of the only Canadian characters in this series, and it's Abigail.
Nuts.
That's
sad.
It is crazy.
I have a Canadian friend who, like, anytime that Street Fighter character gets revealed, it's like they still haven't made a Canadian character, and then eventually they found out that Abigail was Canadian, and they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's like, that's like adding a negative.
Yeah, like, I can respect them wanting to be like, okay, how do we go bigger than Hugo? But this character was just not it. And it didn't help that he was insanely broken on release, and it was like the only character you saw, and it was this annoying character who makes stupid car noises the whole time. Like, I don't know, man. This is just when they were getting a little bit too goofy with it.
I feel like he was the moment that everyone, like, Rufus was a hit, Fong was a hit, but Abigail was the straw that broke the camel's back of like, all right, you guys have gotten too goofy now. All right, can we get like some Street Fighter 3 back in here or something? Also, as you mentioned, they wanted Abigail to be like, all right, we made Hugo the biggest character we possibly could. So how do we go even bigger than that? And I'm like, don't. That was the entire point of Hugo. He's the biggest. When you come in here and then say, all right, we're going to make someone even bigger, it doesn't mean anything anymore. You can't do the same trick twice. You already did this.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that he doesn't have a personality besides being loud and annoying.
Car noises.
Yeah, just a total miss. I hope we never see this character again, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're finally into the Street Fighter 2 characters. E Honda. It's gonna be, oh man, there's a lot of these characters that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to fight to get them in B, because it's gonna be hard not to put them in A. And I don't want A to just be too crowded.
No, I agree. I will say, I think Honda has grown the most on me as a character out of the World Warriors. Because, like, a lot of World Warriors, like, from 2 is like, yeah, I already like these characters. I kind of like where they were. But to me, like, Honda was just, he's the sumo guy. But 6 made him so endearing, dude. I don't know what it is, man. I like when he texts you the stupid sumo emoji, and he like, what does this mean? And he just texts you the sumo emoji.
Any character in Street Fighter 6 has an unfair advantage on this list because we got to know them inside and out. Because if it wasn't for Street Fighter 6, I'd be like, E Honda's C. He's fine, he's iconic, I never really need to see that guy again. Then he pops up in there, and he's got some of the best interactions in Street Fighter 6's World Tour mode. And it's like, oh god, this guy's kind of awesome. I kind of love sumo now. I get it, man. I don't know if I can go with A.
No.
But I feel like he's definitely high B.
Yeah, he's risen for me. Like, he's grown on me the most out of these World Warriors. He really was, like, out of the characters, like, oh, I don't hate E Honda, but I don't really care about it. And I'm like, I like E Honda enough. You know what I mean?
Chun-Li, this one, I don't even feel like
self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory. Most iconic female fighting game character of all time. One of the most iconic fighting game characters, period, of all time. One of the biggest spokespersons for Capcom. Iconic in design, personality, fighting style. You all know why Chun-Li is World Warrior. Yeah,
and I will say, I do like that they continued her storyline from Third Strike in 6, where she took in Li Fen, like the little kid. I think that's really sweet. And actually, the comic, the pre-release comic for Street Fighter 6, where like she was interacting with Ken and working with him, like, I honestly really like that like seeing more of that side of her personality too, when she's like serious, like investigative cop mode. I like that too on her. So yeah, self-explanatory. We don't need to argue about Chun-Li being the best.
Blanca.
Okay, this character I find so endearing because he goes from Beast Man, and then, you know, he gets back home and he loves his mom, and now he's like working as a tour guide. Like, he's been put back into society, and like the people love him and they're not scared of him anymore. He's so endearing. I can't hate Blanca, dude. I can't.
He's also iconic. One of the most iconic. Like, even people who don't play Street Fighter know who Blanca is. Again, when I went through the entire franchise, I was like, oh man, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I love that in the Alpha games, his earliest canonical appearance, he just grunts and growls. Then in 2, he can make like little Tarzan sentences. And then when you get to Street Fighter 6, which is like 13 years after Street Fighter 2, he can talk in full sentences. He actually has like proper grammar. I love that. And now he's working, he's got a job, he's got one of like the best glow-ups. He's one of those characters that shows the progression of time. But also, iconic fighting style, iconic design. Everybody knows his character. He's definitely A, I'd say.
Yeah, he has a lot of personality. Like I said, I find him very endearing. I really like him, and when him and Sakura and Dan get into stupid adventures together, I think that's a very funny trio of characters. Yeah, I just find Blanca very endearing. I love Blanca. I'm willing to give him an A for sure.
Zangief, I'm gonna go A as well. He is the grappler. He is the guy who invented the grapple playstyle. He is iconic in that. But also, I love that his personality, in the beginning, he was just, for Mother Russia. Like, that's all that he was. But now, again, you're talking about those characters who got that glow up in Street Fighter 6. He is the best gym bro in the world. And then they add in there the fact that he's also incredibly smart. He reads 300 books a year. I love that. It's such a good little thing. Like, it's such a small thing to add to his character, but it adds so many dimensions to him. And also, he's one of the few characters in here who has, like, canonical friendships with other characters. Like, I love that he and E Honda are canonical friends. He's got the stuff going on with Armika. I love Zangief. The only question is, where on A?
I put him, like, I don't know if he's definitely right next to Blanca, because I kind of feel about them the same way.
Yeah.
I also find, like, another thing as Zangief I find very endearing is, like, how he, like, Historian 4 was like, oh, I want to be cool to all the children, I want to be the child hero to all these kids. I'm like, oh, that's very sweet. Like, I love that a lot about him.
Me too.
I feel the same way about him I do as Blanca. Like, I can't put one above the other.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. Guile.
Wow. There is interesting stuff with this character, but I don't know if it's like, okay, I do like his, like, desire to avenge Charlie. I like that he's sort of in-laws with Ken. But there's never been more to, like, in my opinion, I don't feel like there's ever been more to him in my eyes than, like, he just wants to take down Shadaloo. Because, like, whereas Chun-Li, I feel like, has some other stuff going on. Yeah. I feel like Guile's like, this is military man. And then in 6, he's, like, kind of retired military. I don't know. I like that he has a family, established family and everything, but I never found him to be as endearing as the others. Like, I don't hate Guile, but he's not a favorite,
Exactly. He is a very important character for the franchise, especially in terms of playstyle. Everybody knows Guile's playstyle. Also, his theme goes with everything. We know that. And also his look, that flat top hair, it is very iconic. However, I think he is great in 2. And then after 2, it's like, okay, you're all about taking down Shadaloo. Shadaloo is taken down in 5. And then I remember when it was revealed he was coming back for 6, I was like, why?
What does he have to do?
You've had your story, and the people that love you mostly love your playstyle. You can give that playstyle to someone else. But he is he's definitely more iconic than anybody on B. I would still go low A, just for him being iconic and important to the franchise, but it is right on the edge of B.
Yeah, it's narrow. I agree. Yeah, he is kind of like a father figure to Luke in a way as well, which I think is nice. But
that's cool.
Yeah, but again, it's like, I feel like he has gone through the paces the most, almost, out of all the Street Fighter 2 characters, for sure.
Yeah. Dhalsim.
Honestly, dude, like, I think Dhalsim is, like, even if, unique playstyle for sure. Maybe not my cup of tea, but he's like a specialist character.
Yeah.
I like that his playstyle's evolved, but what I like about him is, like, he has been, I feel like his place in the world has been so interesting. Like, I like that, he wants to fight for the children who died in his village first, but then he becomes like this mentor figure to a lot of other characters. But I also like, what I like about him is, like, I like that he has a wife and a kid. I like that, when you play it on his stage, his wife is in the background and will cheer you on if you're playing as Dhalsim. Like, I like that a lot, and I think his playstyle is very important as well. Like, I think he's an interesting character. Like, I would say, like, he also could be an A or high B, like, either or. Like, I think Dhalsim doesn't get enough respect for sure.
Yeah, him and Guile, I feel, are around the same level. I would
put him above Guile, just because I do think it is cool how he has like, this mentor sage presence to other characters.
Now we're getting into Shadaloo. We got Balrog in here.
It's hard because, okay, I think the series needed a boxer. I think, like, being a charge character, I think is also important. And I think he got better in, like, 4, 5, 6. Well, he's not in 6, but you know what I mean. I do like that he sort of turns and becomes that father figure to Ed, because I do think that this was a character that was just money. That was his personality trait. Money, violence. But then everything with Ed sort of made him turn a little bit. And I do think his moves are fun, and I think he got better later, but for the most part, he is just boxing guy. And I think the thing that upsets me is like unrelated, the amount of like versus games that have him in it. I'm like, why?
Yes. You had the sprite available. That's it.
Yep, that's it, literally.
But yeah, I agree with you. If Ed was not introduced in 4 and 5, Balrog would be like hard C. Like there'd be nothing to this guy other than I want money and I'm a boxer. But they did do some stuff. He is iconic. So yeah, all right, you get it in B. Vega. Man, here's the thing.
I
Again,
put him above Sodom, above Adon maybe. Like,
yeah.
I think his design is very inspired and very cool.
Yes.
Obviously that mask is iconic, the claw is iconic. His moveset, you know, he's like the agile acrobatic character. I really liked what they did with him in 5, playstyle wise as well. That being said, like, he is just the vain beauty killer character. I don't really think I think he's like changed like less than everyone else. He's just there to be an asshole to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, he is that character who, playstyle interesting, look iconic. Famous villain, he was great as a villain in the early games. It has hit that point in which if he appears, I just roll my eyes and go, okay, there's a slot I'm not interested in. So I'll put him in B because he is that iconic and he was that important early on in the series. I do not care about him now. I am fine with him being gone forever now. M. Bison.
I mean, he very obviously has to be A, and I do like his design in 6, but like, yeah, it's just, he's just one of those characters that's there for the presence, and nothing, like, everything is surrounding this character for the most part, you know?
He is here because he is one of the most iconic fighting game bosses of all time, and I will admit, 6 made me interested in his return. I was all ready for that. He's kind of like Vega, where I was like, dude, I am ready for you to be gone. I have seen you too many times. 6 did something that made me go, actually, I kind of want to see where you go with this. Okay, I'm intrigued now. If we made a Mount Rushmore of fighting game bosses, he'd be up there, obviously, which that's an interesting question. Who would be on the Mount Rushmore of fighting game bosses? It'd be him, it'd be Shao Kahn.
Geese Howard. We got Geese Howard
definitely
for sure.
Geese. And maybe Rugal?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like who the 4th would be. Oh, with someone from Tekken, right? Maybe Heihachi.
Oh, it's gotta be someone from Tekken. Well, that's the problem with being a final boss from Tekken. Everyone. The Tekken guys aren't on the Mount Rushmore. They're throwing people off the top of the Mount Rushmore. But yeah, okay, so that's a weird little side tangent. But yeah, M. Bison, yeah, A, but he's not as interesting as the Gairyuken. But he is more important than any of these guys, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, stepping over to Final Fight again, we got Maki.
So cool, dude. If Kimberly wasn't introduced, I'd be like, I want Maki back, like, now. I think her moveset's really cool. I love the Tonfas. I like her voice. I think she's really cool. Would I say, like, she's the most, like, inspired, like, moveset-wise? No, I mean, and she's kind of just, like, I forget her relation to the guy. It's like, it's not her cousin, is it? Is Guy her cousin? I forget.
I think they were both students together, and so she's kind of like his rival a little bit.
Sister to Guy's fiance. Okay, well,
oh my God.
So they're related.
I didn't even know that.
So, I would put her in, like, in C. I mean, like, just because only because, like, I like her design and her moveset, but I feel like she doesn't have that much for her in the world of everything. Like,
she doesn't.
I would put her, like, up next to Guy. Like, I feel about her, like, I like her design more than Guy, but and her moveset, but I don't know if I, like, would say she's, like, strictly better than Guy, right?
I'm going to argue her to be in B, because I agree with you on all that. When you're talking story-wise, there's not a whole lot there, but personality, design, and also I love angry tomboys who just want to beat people up. That's one of my favorite tropes in fighting games. I was afraid I was going to have to be talking people down for Maki, but no, I'll talk Maki up on this one. I do really like Maki. The only reason why I'm not like Maki has to return is because I'm like, we're good with Kimberly. That's it.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, in 5, when Zeku got introduced, I was like, Zeku's cool. I really like Zeku. Kind of feel like you should have just brought back Maki. Like, you could have used that goodwill right now. T-Hawk.
I like they want to say Julie, but yeah, this is another character I feel like they just haven't done a lot with him.
This guy needs to be in World Tour mode just so we can get some more personality off of him. Like, yeah, this guy's entire character has always been the mission. It's always been, what is that thing that I have to do in this game? And I do appreciate that. I do appreciate, like, the level that he cares about the people in his tribe. Like, that does actually show something to him. But I feel like so many other characters get more than that. His grapple is very iconic, but I would go high C.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Cammy. She's definitely going in at least A.
At least A. I mean, I think her place in lore is also super interesting. How, you know, she's sort of the result of Shadaloo experiments, you know, and then her relationship to the other dolls, her going on a mission to save all the other dolls, I think is very endearing as well. I mean, is she next to Chun-Li? Is like
that's the thing. Is she World Warrior?
I know she's A. I don't know like if she'd be S yet. I don't know. Because if I was gonna put S, I'd put Ken on S before her. I don't know, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna put her right behind Ken, and then we'll decide if we want to bump these guys up to World Warrior afterwards. But she is definitely one of those characters, like, I would say this is the quad right here. This is the four that if you're making a Street Fighter, these are the four you need to include in like your base starting roster. Fei Long.
Personally, I've always been a fan of the Bruce Lee tribute characters because I think, you know, Bruce Lee is very important for being like the first like Bruce Lee stand-in character. I think he's fun. I think he's cool. I like that he's an actual movie star, but I think he's on. He is
just Bruce Lee. That's the thing about him.
Literally, but that's another character. It's like they just haven't done enough with him. Like he's next to T-Hawk for me in that sense, right?
I think he's cool, but every character above this I think is more interesting. And we gotta mention playstyle. He did invent the Rekka fighter, so that is important. DJ.
Honestly, big glow up on DJ. I'm gonna give him a B now. Like,
every single character, it is hard for me to put any character in World Tour mode below B.
Yeah.
If World Tour mode didn't exist and he wasn't in Street Fighter 6, I'd put him like here, like right there. But yeah, World Tour mode, that's the strength of like just sitting down and going, let's actually get to know these characters.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really too much to his character besides he's the fun party music character, but he's so endearing. Like he's so fun to be around. You know, I love that he implements music to his playstyle. I like that you have to actually play like a rhythm game to do his level 2.
That's great.
There's not much to his character, even if he is like really fun. He's a fun character to hang out with, you know.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. Yes, I will admit, even in World Tour mode, there isn't a ton to his character. However, if you said, all right, which Street Fighter characters do you want to hang out with? I'd be like, I want to hang out with DJ. DJ's way up there. So yeah, that definitely bumps him up here. I'll put him above Maki. I'll put him above Balrog, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
There we go. Akuma.
I'm gonna argue this could be an S tier, because
I'm putting him up in World Warrior.
Yep. Everything surrounding this character is, like, so important to, like, the world of fighting games. Like, the secret boss, the imposing presence that he has, like, how even in the universe he's just, like, this looming shadow. It's so cool. Like, and really, he's right. Like, I say he's above Bison because I do like, what I like about him more than Bison as a villain is that he is struggling with, like, his humanity. You know, like, again, he has, like, a moral code that he follows.
Yeah, I love that they actually, like, give him a little bit of depth. They actually give him a moral code. But also, he is Mr. Nemesis. He's that guy who, when you think of the big, imposing, evil guy in a fighting game, Akuma just exudes that. And if you think about him today, you might not really have that experience with him, but if we're going back to, like, the origins of Street Fighter in the arcade, this guy was a legend. This was that guy who you heard people saying he existed, and then one day you'd see somebody at the arcade actually unlock him and be like, what the hell is that? So yeah, I definitely think he deserves to be up there. And he's one of those guys who will probably never be in the starting roster of another Street Fighter because they know people will pay money for him. That is the level of dedication people have. Charlie Nash. We're into the alpha games finally.
Man, here's the thing about Charlie. I think, like, this is a character I'm like, okay, that's cool that we got, like, hit the guy before Guile. Like, you know, this is, you know, the guy that Guile looked up to, and we knew that he was fated to die. And they could have done so much more in 5 with him. Like, when I saw Zombie Nash, I'm like, this is sick, this is really cool, and then he dies for nothing, and it's like, well, you know, that stinks, because I think that was a cool idea.
They dropped that ball from space. In the Alpha games, again, I remember him being, like, the coolest guy back in the Alpha games, because, like, oh, this guy who trained Guile, and he can do the Sonic Boom with one hand? Holy cow, this guy's awesome. And oh man, we get to see how he died fighting against Bison. Oh man, they're adding so much to the lore of this character. And then 5, it's like Birdie. In 5, everything about him just got knocked down. Like, I'd say he's still kind of cool in 5, but that's solely the voice actor doing all that heavy lifting. In Alpha, he is definitely high B, I'd say. He might even have been A in there.
I would put him at like top. I'm willing to put him at like top of. I would put him above Maki maybe.
Yeah, I'd
like
put him.
I think he has the cool factor going on. I think, and I do think that the resurrected Nash was a really cool idea. They just really didn't.
Yeah.
They could have done a lot more with it, and then they just made him die for nothing, which sucks. You know.
I'd put him right in the middle of B.
Yes.
Right
I
there.
feel that that's fair. Yeah.
Rose. Rose is good.
I like Rose. I think she's really cool. I like that her relationship with Bison. I like how soul power, psycho power connected. And I mean, I'm a JoJo fan, so I like her design. But yeah, that being said, like, I think her play style isn't for everybody. I like it personally, but this is definitely a character when she comes back, people are like, oh, Rose? Like, I don't want to have to play against Rose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like her design a lot. I think she's really cool aesthetically. But yeah, that's how I feel about her. Like, I'm not invested into her, like, her personality or anything. She's just cool.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd say high B.
Yeah, I would put her, like, right next to her below Gen. Like, I would like her more than Vega, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'd put her above Gen.
Do you remember when people thought we were gonna reset and do, like, Alpha 4 because of her
My
story?
God, I remember sweating bullets at that. Like, dude, we are done with Shadowloo. Do not go back to Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, because she was like, we gotta return to Zero. And people were like, oh, Zero, that's what the Alpha games were called in Japan.
If I could ask the devs one question, it would be, what the hell was that? What was the deal with that?
Probably a safety net. Probably a safety net in case 6 didn't work out.
Yeah, but I want to know, like, was that the last attempt from, like, oh no, before he left, of like, oh, by the way, leave yourself some kind of back door in case none of this stuff works out. Bye. Let's see. Dan Hibiki. Dan is the ultimate joke character. Like, he is, man, you talk iconic. He's got to be A.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dan is the lovable oath character. I think, like, he is another character where I feel like his relationship to other characters makes him a really endearing as well. Like, him and Sakura have great dynamic. I like that he's, like, the lovable loser. He's very fun. Like, you know, obviously is, like, the blueprint for joke characters.
If you want to talk about, like, characters that are famous in the world of fighting games, we're talking about how, like, Ryu is Mr. Fighting Game. Dan is Mr. Joke character. Like, you can't, say that this guy has not had an impact on the fighting game world. Where would you say on A?
That's the hard part. I mean, I kind of want to put him up. I would put him above Guile, I think. Only because, like, that is his one thing, that he's the fun joke character, and, like, that's it, right?
Yeah, I would put him right below Zangief.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I like that. That's fair.
Goken.
Cool character. I like that he counters Akuma with, like, the power of nothingness, and that's how we survived. I like that. I think, like, out of the Shotos that we've gotten, I think his moveset's really one of the more inspired ones. I like his Tatsu going vertical. I like, you know, the one-handed fireballs are also really, really sick. I like that his throw is, like, the launcher. That's also really cool. That makes it, like, I don't know. He is just, like, I know he's, like, the Shenlong joke, but, like, yeah, I don't feel strong about him other than he's, like, a cool Shoto, right?
He should have stayed dead, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, he adds so much more to these other characters, and now it's like, okay, we finally put him in here. I don't think that we ever need him to return. It's cool that he can't, it's cool that we got to play as their master in a game. That's about it. But yeah, as I said, if we're talking about, like, characters from the story, him coming back takes so much away from Ryu and Akuma's story.
Yeah, that's true.
I put him above Retsu, I put him above Eagle.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's
right
a good
there.
place for him.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're into the 2 movie game characters. I said we were doing every playable character. Sawada.
Best super move in Street Fighter history belongs to Sawada?
It's iconic.
Yeah.
That's the go-to catch-all term for when it's like, okay,
I do like that he was a character you could vote for in the Street Fighter 6, like, who's your favorite character poll, by the way. But
I wonder if they had to pay him
I mean, this
for
is
that.
literally some guy, right? This is literally just some guy.
Yeah, he's some guy. Again, when I found out about the backstory of the movie and, like, this guy literally had to, like, go in like every day trying to get a role in this film, and then he just found the producer in a parking lot and just did martial arts in front of him, which almost sounds intimidating. Like some guy just comes up to you and just starts doing flips and kicks and says, put me in your movie. But no, I respect the hustle on this actor. This actor actually worked his ass off to get in this role. So Sawada, the actor, applause to you for your dedication. Sawada, the character, it's just some guy. It's just some guy. And the other movie character, Blade. And I will point out, if you look down here, they did have all the other versions of Blade, F7, Kyver, and Arcane. I'm not putting all 4 of them in here.
No.
It's just, no one cares about them. Blade's the only one with any actual presence, and he was the first one that they made. So, the story behind
he
Blade's
is a generic jobber. He is a generic jobber.
He is.
Yeah, but he's Guile's brother.
Yes. He's Gunlock.
He is Guile's brother, apparently, Gunlock.
Yeah, they actually merged the universes here in this movie game. I respect the dedication that everything went wrong on the making of that film. So literally the art director was just like, screw it, give me one of the jobber uniforms. We're making a character right now. I respect that. But that being said, he's a jobber.
He is a jobber.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not even gonna put him in D. He's just some guy.
Yeah, he is literally some guy. He's just a jobber.
Yeah. Next, over to our last Final Fight character from actual Final Fight, Lucia.
I thought her moveset was very fun and well animated. I like that she kicks her fireballs. And of course, I love the accent.
Yeah.
I love the voice actress killed it in that role.
Yeah.
But I have no strong feelings on this character. Not that I hate her. I just I'm very apathetic to this character.
It's, again, one of the things that I use to decide who goes where is how would I feel if they got announced to return? If they got announced to return for Street Fighter 6, I'd be like, oh, all right, yeah, that's cool. But I would not lose my mind. But that being said, I feel like I have to point out, after Abigail, I was like, I am freaking done with Final Fight. Stop this. Stop shoving in here random characters from Final Fight. You have so many other games that you can pull from. I am done with this. And then they add in Lucia from Final Fight, and I went, oh, she's kind of cool.
And Poison from Final Fight 2. So you think about the tail end of Street Fighter 5, there was so many Final Fight. Zeku was technically Final Fight. Abigail and Poison and Lucia.
The tail end of Street Fighter 5 to me is the defining moment that just showed off how Ono does not understand the fan base anymore. Because it was like, I gotta bring people back in. I know, I love Final Fight, so I'll put in here more Final Fight, and that'll bring people back. And everyone was like, we are freaking done with this. Stop it. And yet Lucia, kind of cool. I did like her. I'd put her right by, honestly, I want her to return more than anybody in C. The C rank to me is, they're fine. I have no interest in them returning. If Lucia was announced to be in the next season of DLC, I'd be okay with it. I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, but that's also coming from a point of the only Final Fight character that's playable in 6 is Kimberly.
Man, they went so far the other direction in 6.
Yeah.
Everything about 6 is trying to correct Street Fighter 5. And all right, we understand that you're all sick of Final Fight. But yeah, I'd be cool with her returning. I might actually, you know what? I might put her above Maki. These two are neck and neck.
I feel equally about them. Where I personally like Maki more, but and I don't really have any strong feelings in Lucia, but that's not in either way. It's I don't think she's the coolest, but I don't think she's bad at all. So yeah. I think she has a lot of cool animations to her moves. So I did like her playstyle in 5 for sure.
All right, next up, Sakura. She's definitely high A. Is she World Warrior?
I feel like I need to see, before I could put her in World Warrior, I need to see what she'd be older.
In 6?
Because she does progressively get older. She does age a bit, where she's working a part-time job in 5. I think that was a lot of fun. I liked her arcade outfit in 5 a lot. But I feel like she's on the cusp of becoming the all-time greatest. I would love to see her older.
I definitely think she is one of the best Street Fighter characters. She is so incredibly likable. When she appeared in the Alpha games, it was a shift in the franchise. I remember being a kid when Sakura got introduced. It's oh man, there's now a Ryu fan who's also a kid, and she's going out there, and she's not quite as good as Ryu, but she's got all these moves. Oh my god, she's so freaking cool. And she, the likability of this character back in the day was through the freaking roof. And yet, to this day, Still, they did that Street Fighter popularity poll, and she came in number 1. And something I need to point out about that popularity poll, I've referenced it many times in the videos, Makoto was number 2 on that list.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of people over the years say the only reason Makoto was number 2 was because people wanted her as DLC. She's not actually the second most popular character. And yeah, I will agree with you. Makoto is not the second most popular character in Street Fighter. People just want her to be DLC. Sakura had already been out for a year in Street Fighter V when that poll came out, and people didn't even like her in Street Fighter V. They thought she was like low tier. She didn't play all that well. She still came in number 1. She is arguably the most popular Street Fighter character. And I would almost go World Warrior.
I mean, I will. If you want to push it, I'm willing to.
I'm gonna do it.
Like, I think, yeah, because I do think like number 1 character. Whenever there's anything new related to Street Fighters, people are really excited to see Sakura again. Like that's a character people are excited to see come back.
Yes.
You know, I think her spin on the Shoto style is more like I'd say is more unique than the other Shotos in the series, and she's very fun. She has like a fun take on it.
She is, and just I just think fun,
she has such a great personality. I love her voice. She's so fun, like such a fun character personality-wise. And I think she just like she's very endearing to a lot of people for that reason. Yeah. You know.
All right. I don't even know if we should count these two. It's EVO Ryu and Shin Akuma. I'm not counting Shin Akuma because the thing that makes Shin Akuma interesting is literally what made Akuma interesting in the early games. Secret unlockable super tough boss.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about Capcom versus SNK Shin Akuma, fine. But yeah, for now to make this easier, I'm gonna move Shin Akuma out. EVO Ryu, I feel like there's enough difference there. Just talking in terms of playstyle.
Like obviously he's like a what if character. I think it is interesting to see like I do think like what if characters are kind of interesting to have exist where it's like this is like we're just playing with the lore a little bit. I will say like I'm banking this entirely on his appearance in Street Fighter 4 era.
Yes, I was just saying that.
Insanely cool, dude. The axe kick was sick. I always think about his Metsu where the screen goes black and then he sucks it all in and slams you down. That's one of the coolest supers, or ultras, I mean, in the series from me personally. I think he's insanely cool, but like, yeah, that's it. Like, I would put him in C just because he's a character who's like, this is very cool, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm honestly, oh man, I'm thinking of just not even ranking him because we're talking about coolness levels, how fun he is to play. I would go B. But
yeah,
I do, honestly, if he returned in Street Fighter 6, I'd be upset because like, we're done with this.
Yeah.
We did this already.
Yeah.
I'll put him there for now, just because it's like, okay, this one here is solely based on appearance and in playstyle. Because personality, all the points go to Ryu. Personality is all just part of Ryu in there. Zeku, who is here with the alpha games because he appears in Guy's story mode. I like Zeku.
Yeah, I think his moveset's super fun. I like, again, we don't have like the only other stance character, really, if you think about it.
And he's one of the few stance fighters really I actually like playing as.
Yeah. I like that he does combos where he can swap between them. I like that they tied him into making Destriders, which is very funny.
That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like badass old man characters. I think he is pretty cool. I think he's underrated, but like, yeah, he kind of just, I feel like, he's Guy's master, and he makes Destriders, and like, that's cool, but that's not like endearing. I don't know if it's like, if he's like personality-wise, if it's like, oh yeah, like I really am invested in Zeku.
Yeah, personality, I do kind of like that he's got like a little bit of a, I don't want to say a Master Roshi vibe to him or anything, but like kind of like, he's an old guy, but he also like, he wants to be hip and cool.
He's suave, yeah, he tries to be suave.
Yeah, like the fact that he's this old ninja master, but his opening line in combat is, let's party. I kind of dig that. I kind of dig that he also tries to look like presentable and everything. I dig it. I like him, but I'm not going quite B. Man.
Top of C,
I'll go top of C. Karine, I'm gonna let you talk about this one, because I'll be really, I feel nothing for Karine. Whenever she returns, I'm like, oh, that's fine. But I know I'm on the outside on that.
So, here's the thing. I think Karine she's a fun character. I like the Ojo-sama. I like that she's like a character from a spin-off manga that got so popular that she made it into the series. Like, I think something like that, like, obviously she was endearing enough to get that far, and I think that's really cool. Like, I think it's cool when they pull from external Street Fighter media. Like, so Karine, I think, was actually done really well. I think she's a very fun character. I I think it's insane. She's like she makes the Avengers in Street Fighter 5
Yes.
of all characters. I think that's very funny and but yeah, I mean, you know, she's Ojo-sama rich girl, friends with Sakura. I mean, I'd give her a B. Like, I'm not like, oh, I need Kareem back, but like, I don't hate her. I think she's fun.
Okay, cool.
I like her.
I am 100% okay with that. Where in B?
Probably above Charlie or Vega.
Definitely above Charlie.
I mean, I would put her around the middle, right?
I would put her like right below Rose, I feel.
Sure,
That feels all right to me. Okay, now we're getting into the EX games, and this will be a test of how much I remember about the EX games. Oh god,
So
where do we
what's
even...
first? Pullum Perna?
Pullum Perna, I remember liking her design. I remember her having a really good super with the dancing.
My thing, I'm gonna be upfront, I think a lot of the EX characters for me are based off design and playstyle
Yes.
than it is like lore, because they just don't really have too much to them. I think Pullum's like a fun music-based character. Like she's a sort of like a belly dancer, and I think that's fun. I like her design. It's kind of like Rouge from Power Stone a little bit too. I think she's a fun character. Like, I don't know. I don't think they would ever put in anyone from EX in 6, but like if they did, I would be like, oh yeah, that's a fun character to have.
If she came back out of all these characters, I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'd be
I
fine
think
with
she's like, I would give her a C. Like, I'd give her a C at least.
I'd go C as well. I'd even go like high C, because I think that she is a fun character.
Yeah.
Hakuto! I do not remember jack about Hakuto. I remember her having like her own version of the Satsui no Hado.
Yeah, so it's her, Kairi and Nanase are like all part of like this ancient, martial art, like sort of like Hado adjacent sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think she fights with fans like a little bit. I think that's cool, but like, I think like there's just not anything for me to grasp on this character that I care about. Like, it's like, I would put her in D, not because like I hate her design or her playstyle, but there's just nothing for me to be like, but it's not offensive. That's why I would put it above Birdie and Abigail. It's not offensive. She's just kind of there.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Kairi.
Kairi, it feels unfair that they're using one of his later designs where he actually looked cool, because I remember in the early games, they're like, this dude is nothing. This guy is so boring.
Yeah, he's like sauceless Akuma. He's kind of like sauceless Akuma.
They tried so hard to make this guy cool, and it's just, no one cares. Nanase's kind of like, she's got a little bit of that Sakura vibe, the like young and perky and upbeat vibe, but again, it's just like...
She does have the big staff too, which is fun.
And she does have a crazy super. I just remembered her crazy ass super.
Where she like pole vaults to the stratosphere. Yeah, I would put her in C as well, put bottom of C.
I'd go there, yeah. Crackerjack, I actually remember liking Crackerjack back in the day. Because he was like just a rough and tumble guy who was like trying to fight off Shadowloo. And I remember
he's like
him
a mafioso bouncer. I like his theme.
Him and Blair developing like a relationship is cool.
Yeah, he plays a lot like Balrog from what I remember. Like he's kind of like a dash boxing punching character. Like that's a character where I'm like, I think aesthetically, I love his theme by the way. Aesthetically, he's cool. I would put him like above Hakuto. Because, like, I don't feel strongly about, like, if they announce him, be like, I don't really think we need him back.
Yeah.
I like his design, you know?
I really do like him, but even I'll admit, if they just announced that out of all the EX characters he was coming back, I was like, what? Yeah, man, I do think he's cool and everything, but again, we're talking about, like, best Street Fighter characters, and if you're an EX character who makes it into the list of best Street Fighter characters, like, oh my god, you gotta be special, man. Blair, I definitely remember liking Blair when I was a teenager, and that's all I'll say.
She's kind of a nothing. I mean, she was in one game, and she didn't even come back for EX 2 or 3.
She did.
In the first one, and that's it.
Yeah, and in the Fighting EX later games, they gave her like a really sick armor design that I liked, but that's the Fighting EX later games. We ain't talking about those.
I would put her in D as well by Hakuto. I don't have any feelings for this character other than, she looks cool later, but she's only in one game,
Yeah. Doctrine Dark.
Okay, I will fight a little bit for Doctrine Dark. I think a character like him, I kind of like, he is a little bit adjacent to Rolento, like that's like a lore thing. I remember him like, I think Rolento like is why he has like the breathing mask, like Rolento messed him up. And like he also has like beef with Guile because he thinks Guile betrayed him or something. And I like he uses the wire. Yeah. I like that he uses the wire and the bombs. I think like he is a bit more inspired. Like I would put him next to Nanase. I think he's a cool character.
People actually do like Doctrine Dark. Okay, and now the entire reason why we're even talking about the EX characters. He's definitely B. Would you put him in A? Because, like I said, he's literally the only reason we're even considering talking about the EX characters. Because you gotta bring up Skullmania.
So my thing about him is, I think he's carried by vibes more than anything else, right?
Yes.
Like I wouldn't say he like has like the character growth or like established sort of personality wise of the other characters in A. That being said, you know, washed up businessman LARPing as a superhero. He's got such a, you know, weird, bizarre, fun moveset. He's very, like, people just love seeing this dude on screen because he animates so well. I mean, I would put him, like, I would put him in, like, high B, though.
Yeah, I put him high B. I put him, like...
People aren't liking him for the story or anything. They just think, like, he's fun and a funny character. And he is, like, he's a great character. But, like, you know, I wouldn't say he's, like, on Dan level, right?
Yes. I mean, it's like, I can't put him in A because, like, what's the best Goofy character? Dan. It's Dan. Dan gets an A. But Skullmania, I will agree with you. We need to put him in at least B. Alan Snyder.
I have no opinions on this guy. I think that's like it.
I find it interesting that for years now, fighting games have been doing the Fei Long ripoff character, and finally someone did the Chuck Norris ripoff character. But Chuck Norris is not nearly as endearing as Bruce Lee. So it's, yeah, he's fine, whatever.
I put him in D as well. Yeah. I just have no feelings, like genuinely no feeling on that character.
Darn Mister, I think Darn Mister's kind of cool. He's a cool grappler.
Yeah, he's a fun spin on Zangief. I like that they're buddies in the EX games.
That's
and
cool.
They have like a cool team super together. Yeah, he's fun. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's alright, he's fun. Yeah, like if you announce he'd be returning, I'd be like, why? But at the same time, I wouldn't be as disappointed as the D characters.
Yeah.
Garuda, I think, is awesome.
Yeah, dude. Inspired design. Like, I think like, you know, we said like Kairi's like sauceless Akuma. I think this guy's almost aesthetically at least, he's on Akuma's level. Like I think what a sick design.
There is sauce in that suit. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it is, granted, it is 90s edgelord as hell because it's just a suit made of spikes. But it is an awesome looking design. And also, I do like that, like, kind of ties into the Satsui no Hado. Like, the EX characters tried to tie into the Street Fighter characters, and not all of them worked. Garuda kind of worked a little bit. Garuda worked a tad. I'd put Garuda like right there above Balrog.
Yeah. And like if they announced like new villain returning Garuda, I'd be like that'd be sick.
I would genuinely be interested. All right, next it goes in the Street Fighter 3 characters, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just get all the EX characters out while I can think of them before I forget them forever. Hayate, guy with a sword who fought a giant snake named Orochi. He's just a ripoff of SNK characters. There is nothing interesting to this guy.
Yeah, I put him by Hakuto or like the other EX jobbers.
He's definitely below Blair to me.
Yeah.
Sharon, I do remember in the EX games there's a little bit of a myth that she might be M. Bison's daughter, but I remember her having one of the worst supers in the game.
No, this is a character I like personally because I think when you have a series like Street Fighter where, you know, there's some weapon usage that they're like martial arts weapons, and then this character comes along and does like an assault rifle and they're level 3, it's the funniest stuff in the world where she just pulls out guns.
Yes.
I think that's very fun, and I do think she has a cool playstyle, but yeah, I don't have any feelings on her. I mean, I would put her like next to like Blair or Hakuto. Like I think she does have a little bit more going on, but yeah.
There you go. Shadow Guys, they need a rival for Skullmania. I think it's...
Yeah, see.
I think that's cool, but at the same time, like, man, if you don't have Skullmania game and then Shadow Guys just pops up by himself, it's like, why are you here?
You literally can't have this character without Skullomania. Like, he's just invented to be, you know, to fight Skullomania. So yeah, I put him low for that.
But his design is kind of sick, so I'll give him some credit for that. Next, there's a couple over here. Bloody Hakuto, which was just evil Ryu for Hakuto.
Yeah.
And then the Cycloids are literally just guys. Okay, the last ones. Volcano Rosso?
I put him in C. I think his design kicks ass,
His design's
honestly.
not bad. I gotta give him some credit on that. His design's not bad. I'll give him some credit. Arya.
What a weird character, dude. The robot arm, and then like it fires off, and she can like... just a bizarre character, genuinely.
Everything is weird about her.
Not in like a bad way. I think it's inspired, but I have, like, what a weird character, right?
Yeah, it's so odd. I can't put her above some of the other characters in here, though. I guess, like, middle?
So here's what I'll say, bro. I would put her next to Crackerjack, because here's my thing about her, now that I'm thinking about it. She is, like, the tech geek character, but Viper does that way cooler and better. Yeah.
You know what? She was the first, like, tech-based fighter in a Street Fighter game, so I'll give her credit for that, yeah.
Yeah.
The more I look at this, more I'm like, man, Blair deserves to be above Hakuto. And Ace, just some guy.
That's some guy. He actually was like the Avatar fighter.
Yes, he was the original John Street Fighter. He was the original your World Tour character. So I'll give him props for that. But yeah, he's just some guy. Now we're finally into Street Fighter 3, Ibuki.
High B for me, man. I think Ibuki's so fun. I love her design, you know, the Populous Ninja. I think her moveset's very fun. For a ninja character, I feel like she feels the most ninja-like out of the cast, for sure.
Yeah.
I love her personality of like, oh, she's this secluded ninja girl, but she wants to go out into the world and like meet cute boys, and I just think that's very
I think
fun.
it is a very interesting thing to do with a ninja. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's crazy that her design is this good because on paper, it's just a ninja with a ponytail. And yet somehow everything about it works. Like all the small details, like the little missing sleeve, the 3 strands of hair up there, just every little bit of it makes it interesting.
I also thought she was one of the characters that, going from Street Fighter 4 to 5, I thought she was cooler in 5 than she was in 4. I think the bomb stuff was really cool in 5.
Necro! I really like Necro, but do I need him to return? Actually, I kind of do.
I feel the same way. I think Necro is... I think he's overhated. Like people like kind of are not as big as Necro fans. I would push back because I think it's interesting to have like, you know, Illuminati experiment. I like that him and Effie, I like his dynamic with Effie, but he's not a character that I feel I need to come back if you have Dhalsim and Blanca. Like, not saying he plays like Dhalsim or Blanca, but like aesthetically, like with the way that his moves work, I feel like if you have both those characters in the game, he's kind of a hard sell to come back. What they could do is, like, I think if he came back and, like, Effie was part of his moveset, I think I would love that. I think that'd be super cool.
Yes.
A cool way to bring him back.
I keep thinking the B characters are the characters who, if they're not in the game right now, but they announced that they were coming back, I'd be excited to see that. I would be excited to see Necro come back. I think that guy is an interesting enough character. And yeah, Effie is a great supporting character for him, but if they made them like a tag team fighting style character, I think that'd be so cool. I think that'd be so awesome. Also, the more I look at Evil Ryu here, the more it bugs me. So here's what I'm going to do. Add a row below. Honorable mention.
Yeah,
the more I look at that,
should not be that high.
The more I look at, he goes there, and I'll also just throw in, like, just to get out of the way.
Shinakuma
goes there. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll also put Violent Kin there, because Violent Kin, I was like, should we even count him? Because Evil Ryu has lured him. Violent Kin, again, we're not counting Capcom versus SNK. So Violent Kin, just in the Street Fighter games, is simply, hey, remember that one time that M. Bison put some psycho power in Kin? And that's it. So, Dudley, he definitely goes above Balrog.
Dog, yeah, this is a character where, I mean, if you think about it, like his lore and his place where it's just like, I need to get my dad's car back, or like, he's just the gentleman boxer. That being said, the swagger on this character is insane. Like, this is a character people want back because he's just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about how like people like Skullmania just because of vibes.
Yeah.
People like Dudley just because of vibes, but they're really good vibes.
Yeah, I would put him right next to above Skullo, because I think like people want him back for more. People want him back because, you know, he also has a really fun play style for a boxer character as well.
Yeah, like I'm looking at this right now, and if we went, okay, E-Han is already in the game, so they announced that like the next season of DLC was Poison, Ibuki, Rose, Karin, and Dudley. It'd be like, that's a damn good season.
That's a good season.
That's a good season. Sean.
Look, this is a character I think needs to come back. Not because I want to see what they would do with him. Because like
redemption.
Yes, we need redemption for Sean. Because like I think, you know, he is a very fun character. I like his dynamic with Ken, but like they just screwed him over in 5, man. Like, I don't hate Laura, but man, dude, like,
yeah, it's one of those where like nobody wanted this. They wanted Sean. Just do Sean. I would definitely put him above this entire bomber. It would be I put him above Charlie. Is he above?
I put him above Vega. I put him right there, yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about characters people want to see return, it's definitely Sean. I have always loved the protege character. And this isn't just fighting games. This is anything. This is games. This is comics. This is like anything that's been going on for a while. I love the next generation characters. And I think Sean is perfect for that.
I agree with you. A big reason like why I really like Sean is like I love his energy, I like his personality, and I like that Ken has a Sakura equivalent, but he just hasn't had the chance to shine like Sakura has. And that was like another reason why like I low-key was hoping that Lee Fen would be like a playable character. Be like, oh, it'd be cool to have Chun-Li have her own little protege Sakura character too, which I don't think is gonna happen. But like that's kind of why I like that character as well, is like that the protege element to them. So I think like B for Sean, because like, you know, he could be the next, like he could be online with Sakura. He just doesn't have the same chance as Sakura. He wasn't given the same shot, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like it bugs, as somebody who, again, really likes the protege characters. Like I'm that guy who, when they were growing up, was like, the Justice League is fine, the Teen Titans are where it's at. It always bugged me that Sean never met Sakura. There was like never a team up between these two. That always felt like it would be so perfect. Next up, Alex. He's definitely B. But is he
He's
A?
definitely B. So my thing about Alex is like I feel like his place in the world is just, it's very much just only tied to, you know, everything happening with the Illuminati, because it was like, you know, him trying to find his father figure. That being said, like aesthetically and playstyle wise, I think he just has the aura, like especially his design in 6 goes insanely hard.
He has got an amazing design in 3 and an amazing design in 6. The design in 5 was fine.
Yeah, but that, I think a part of it is like, I think his design in 5 would have been better if 5 didn't look the way
so
it
bad.
did, you know?
That ain't his fault. That ain't his fault. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't hold that against him. Like, I like to always point this out. Ken's design in Street Fighter V actually looks really good on paper. I also really like that this guy, like, Ryu, World Warrior, but he's a World Warrior looking for, like, true strength and everything, so you can understand him getting mixed up in these guys trying to take over the world. Alex is just some meathead from Brooklyn. Like, that's all he is. He's just some guy from Brooklyn who likes to get into the ring.
Yeah, which does make him endearing as like an shredded, like everyman
exactly.
sort of character,
he is the everyman who got shoved into this situation, and I love that about him. I would definitely put him, man.
Yeah, I like him below Rose only because, like, I like Rose's relationship with a lot of the other characters in the lore of, like, Psycho Power and Soul Power. And I feel like Alex just doesn't have that. Like, he doesn't have the same connections between other characters as some of the other characters do, you know? That being said, like, him being this everyman put into this crazy situation, I do think is nice, and I love, like, I love the way how he talks. Like, I just love his voice, so that's another thing for him, too.
Oro!
Dude, underrated. Like, I think Oro is at least B. Like, and I'll argue because, I'll argue because I think having this, like, character who is, like, this lore character, mentor character who he has to tie an arm to, like, make fights fair, or he carries a turtle in 5, and, like, he can go toe-to-toe with, like, Akuma. I think he's really cool. Would it be a character I'd jump out of my seat to come back? No, but, like, I feel about him the same way I feel about Gen. Where I think his playstyle and, like, him as a character, design and lore-wise, is insanely cool, but I don't feel that much more about him than that, you know what I mean?
He's one of those guys who I think he was really cool for a one-time thing in 3, and now anytime that he returns, I'm like, all right. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but he's not a character I need to return. Yeah. But I think he's a cool addition to the Street Fighter world. Like, I think it's cool that Street Fighter has their own Yoda, which is basically what he is. So I'm okay with him being in B. Where in B would you say?
I mean, I definitely don't know if I like him as much as Gen. I think I definitely like him more than, like, Sodom.
Yeah?
I like him more than Sodom and Adon, I think.
Yeah. Between Charlie, Vega, I'm gonna leave Sean higher. So I'll go right there. Yun and Yang. Man, if you're talking about importance to Street Fighter 3, Yun is high up there because of how broken he was. Although, if we're talking design-wise, I actually like Yang more.
I do too, and I'm a little bit biased because he was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch in Street Fighter 4, and I'm very biased towards that as well. I personally like Yang's playstyle more than Yun's.
Yes.
That being said, like, I get they're cool, they skateboard, but these designs have never been like, I think they're the coolest people in the world. I don't know. Like, I like that they're the hot-headed defenders of the city. I like that they inspired Jamie. Yeah. But, like, I like Jamie more than them. I'm not gonna lie,
I agree.
dude. I kind of like Jamie more than them.
I agree with you on that. I would love to see older versions of them there in Street Fighter 6, though. I think that'd be awesome.
I I honestly like B or bottom of B or top of C for me.
I'd go bottom
I don't
of B.
think these are characters I would pop off if they came back, right?
Yeah. Although I will say, like, I feel like we have to put Yun in B just simply because of how important he was to Street Fighter 3. And by important, I do mean broken. But man, people loved playing as him in 3. So I feel like that gets him something in there. Elena.
I mean, you can't hate this. No one can hate this character. She's so fun.
My only question is A or B, because I think she's one of the best Street Fighter characters out there. She was one of the first characters who, when they wanted to show off like the power of the CP3 engine for Street Fighter 3, everyone looked at Elena and was like, holy shit. That character does not animate like the Street Fighter 2 characters. And she's got such a fun personality. People lost their mind when she got added back into Street Fighter 6. So yeah, she's definitely at least B.
I would put her I can see it putting her right next to Poison. I'm gonna be honest.
I would put her above Ibuki.
Yep, I would too.
I'm seriously thinking maybe A. For now, we'll put her here. And then we'll decide later. Gil. I'll be honest with you, I don't give a shit about Gil.
No, I think Red and Blue Man is very, very, Red and Blue Illuminati Man is a very funny direction for the series to go with the next villain. That being said, I don't think he has, like, as much aura as some of the other characters. Like, I think the Fire and Ice skills are very cool and inspired, but
And the resurrection is iconic. The resurrection move is very iconic. But we are putting him up here, like, if we're talking drip, he's the bottom. But if we're talking playstyle, he gets something.
Yeah, I would put him, I think he's at least C level. Like, I would probably put him, like, above Gouken.
Above Gouken? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't think, if they were like, oh, Gil's back, I'd be like, oh, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of interesting because this game takes place after 3. I do think he is very iconic to 3, but I don't really see him in anything in relation outside of, like, Street Fighter. Like, it was cool he was in 5, I like that, but I don't know. I've never been strong on Gil from a boss, like, design perspective, right?
As tired as I am of M. Bison, you can argue for his return, and they did something interesting with it. I have zero interest in Gil ever returning. Like, all right, man. If you want to do the Fire and Ice thing, give it to a new character. Invent a brand new character, the disciple of Gil or something, do something with that, because I have no interest in Red and Blue Fabio ever coming back. Colleen.
So to me, Colleen, I think her design was pretty cool. I liked her outfit.
Yeah.
I like that she was like an Illuminati adjacent character, because it's like the Illuminati, like villains wise, it's Urian, who's kind of like trying to fight Gil out of like spite, and then Colin, and she's kind of like the, you know, like another figure in the Illuminati. Whereas like, you know, Shadaloo had all these characters, you know, like, you know, Vega and Fong, and so Illuminati only having like Gil and then like Colleen way later, you know. And I think she has a cool, I think, even though Street Fighter V's story mode is a bit of a wreck, I think she has a cool presence in that story mode. So yeah, I'm willing to put her like higher up in C. Like, I like her as much as Zeku. I like her playstyle, so.
Yeah, I'll put her there. Also, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, Pull and Perna should not be at the top of all these.
Yeah, not at the top.
Yeah, I'll put her.
Let's put her above, like, right next to Eagle. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. Urian. Urian is so much more interesting to me than Gil.
Yes, I highly agree. I mean, Aegis Reflector, iconic. I like his voice.
Yes.
I like that I like his story. I like this. He has this like beef with his brother Gil, and like it's almost like an Adon like Starscream situation as well. You know,
it's very much a Starscream Vegeta situation, but except that Urian is so much more pissed off about it, and I like that. The fact that he's big and menacing and huge. The fact he's also just so angry adds so much intimidation to that character. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff with him. I would put him. I can't go higher than Dudley.
No, I think that's a good spot for him.
Right there.
Below Dudley.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah, also should point out, Gil, 0 drip. Urian in Street Fighter 3, 0 drip. Street Fighter 5, when they gave him the suit.
Oh, dude,
That's good. That was a good look. Akira. I'm going honorable mention on this. Akira is one of my favorite fighting game characters ever. But she is treated in Street Fighter V still kind of like a guest character. She's not like the Final Fight characters where they incorporate them into the world of Street Fighter. Street Fighter V, she just pops up and just goes, hey guys, it's me from Rival Schools. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Sakura was also in the first Rival Schools too, but I don't remember her story mode ever was like, oh, hey, like, I remember you, let's hang out. I can't remember right off the top of my head.
They didn't even go to the same school. Like, Sakura was friends with Hinata in Rival Schools. She had zero interactions with Akira. Just Akira's the most popular Rival Schools character. So they were like, all right, we got to bring her back. So yeah, I am glad that Rival Schools finally got incorporated into Street Fighter. I am very glad that she finally got to appear. She got to live again. Again, she's one of my favorite fighting game characters of all time. I lost my mind when she got announced. She's incredibly fun in the game, and that's a game where I don't think a lot of characters are actually fun. So yeah, I am so happy that Akira gets to be on this list, but they did not make it feel like she exists in that world. It felt like, hey guys, this is my special friend from that other sitcom that is also on the same network that airs earlier in the night. They came to visit today. Like, that's literally how it felt. So I was like, I'm not counting her.
When the 90s sitcoms that like the characters guest appear for like an episode.
That's exactly what it felt like. So I'm like, all right, man, I give Akira a ton of praise, but I don't, even though she was playable in a Street Fighter, it still does not feel like a Street Fighter character. It feels like a guest character. So I'm putting her in honorable mentions.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. She wasn't as integrated. If there's like a history of Akira being or other Rival Schools characters being in these games, and like it was a more established like Final Fight is, I would agree that like we could rank her. But yeah, I feel like this was just a special inclusion.
Exactly.
You know?
If they put a Rival Schools character in Street Fighter 6 and then we get like World Tour mode that goes like, here's how we all incorporate together, it's like, great, perfect, done. But it hasn't happened yet. Armika.
Dude, I think she's a high B, man. I think
definitely high B.
She was a character that so many people wanted back, and when she did come back, she was like beloved, and she has that bombastic personality. Her voice actress killed it.
I love the like scratchy voice on like young energetic characters. Yeah, and her voice actress was perfect for that.
Yeah, and she's a fun take on a wrestler. Like, she's much more like flashy. And yeah, I mean, I cannot say anything more than she's like an insanely fun character. I mean, I would put her above Honda for sure. Like,
definitely
I think
above Honda.
She's on that level.
I can't put her above Ibuki. Yeah, the more I think about it, I was like, that's just right there. Oh, I don't know how I feel about these. Julie and Junie.
I'm not gonna lie. I do like Junie and relationship to Cammy, and I like Julie's relationship with T-Hawk. That came way later, and their play styles are like Temu, Cammy. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like Just Some Guy is kind of too mean.
It is too mean. It is. But
I can't see them higher than D, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll put them top of D because of the importance to the story. But oh my God, we're now down below here. All right. Yeah, I'll put them like that.
We're not ranking them, but I think the other dolls that they made for 5 were way cooler.
Yes, they were. They actually fought differently, and they had like unique looks to them. Julie and Junie were just, we need more characters. Take Cammy's head off her body and put 2 other heads on there. Like, that's what it was.
Speaking of dolls, dude.
DiCaprio.
Oh my God. So this DiCaprio is unironically cool, but boy did they fumble that character, dude.
Everything from the announcement to the present have been fumbled with this character.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because, like, I think if this character was added to Ultra 4 and they were like, we have one more character, guys, it's gonna be cool, like, and they didn't make a big deal out of it. They're like, here's an extra character. I mean, been like, this is a cool character, but because they're like, guys, this is a character that's never been in a series before, this is big, this is huge, and it's like, I mean, Cammy clone, not really, but you know, that's what people saw her as.
When you look exactly like another character, you're going to be called a clone, no matter how much you play differently. But there is a lot of interesting stuff to this character, and man, I love in Cammy's World Tour mode when you actually see like DiCaprio in normal clothes, living a normal life, like, good for her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, oh God, yeah, they've messed this character up.
Yeah, for that reason, I'd say C, because like, if they brought her back, I'd be like, well, this character doesn't have a lot of cool moves. I could see them doing it, but I wouldn't be like, oh man, oh boy, DiCaprio. And I also just think like the ship has sailed, sadly. Like, you had your shot and it sailed. I'm sorry.
It's one of those words like nobody's paying for this as DLC because of how much you screwed up.
Yes, that's another one too.
So that's why I'm putting her below Retsu there. Remy!
What an interesting character.
Yes.
Like, the Street Fighter who hates street fighting.
Yes! And also, man, the most interesting thing about Remy back in the day is I remember there was a rumor going around that he was Charlie's kid. because he was also like, he used similar moves, and his dad was gone, and his dad was a Street Fighter of some kind, and he hated Street Fighters because his dad was missing. And it's like, all right, maybe his dad died fighting Bison. Ooh. But then it turns out, no, that's not the case. We know nothing about his dad. Although his sister is like frozen in a block of ice in a cave somewhere.
My issue with Remy is like, I think aesthetically, I think he looks cool with his outfit, and he's like very Iori Yagami-esque almost.
Very.
The thing is, this reeks to me of a character that exists to serve a function. And I know we're like, oh, like Ultron is the Magneto function. Well, this guy was made to be a Guile function.
Yes, we don't have a charge fighter yet.
Yeah, it's just, now that Guile has such a more sauce moveset with like the Sonic Cross and, he has more interesting moves. This is a character where I don't think he does anything cooler than Guile other than his appearance. So I feel like that's like a D.
I hate
top
saying it, but I love his design. But yeah, there's like no point to this guy coming back unless they just redeemed him. Like, that is the one thing okay, I will put him in C. I'm gonna put him in C, and this is why I will say I'm putting him in C. If Julie and Junie came back, I'd be like, why? If Remy came back, I'd be like, okay, what are you gonna do with him? That would be
right.
I would be interested to see what they would do with him. Q.
Dude, I'm biased as hell. I think this character's incredible, but this character's incredible because we know nothing.
I was gonna say the same thing. I almost want to put him in honorable mention because I don't feel like he should be ranked. Because
genuinely, I think this is a character that I think a lot of people want to come back because there's so much we want to know about this character, and I think it's cool to have this mysterious robot character that causes disasters and he's hunted by the FBI. People run in terror when he shows up on screen.
Yeah.
And like his moveset being like, there's something wrong with him, he's like lost his power or something, like, but we don't know, and like that's what makes him cool, but we also don't know.
You know what would be the coolest way to bring him back? This just hit me. This would be the coolest way to bring him back. Put him in Street Fighter 6, don't make him playable, have him be a giant attack, and have it be completely unannounced.
Or he appears randomly in World Tour, and that's it. Like you know what I mean? Like there's like maybe they update World Tour with like a character, and then also, hey, there's an event in World Tour. There's been sightings of this weird like robot figure, and people are like, wait, what's going on? And he'll just show up randomly.
But you only see him for like a month,
right?
You see him like a month before he appears, but only in the background. Like, if you're running down the street and you like look up at a tall building, you'll see him up there, but there's no way of reaching that building or something like that. And he appears like that for a month, but then across that month, if you do all these little tie-in things, then suddenly he will appear.
Yeah, he could be like a random encounter in World Tour.
Yeah.
Like you just fight him random. Yeah, like that being said, like this is the definition of a character where it's like all aura and hype moments, where it's like, I think, like genuinely, if this character got announced to come back, people would lose their minds. And people, like, they announced an avatar pass with his gear, and people were so upset. Like, me too, man. That being said, like, that's my bias, and it's like, I would like him in B, but I can't put him high in B out of fairness, right?
I'm gonna put him at bottom of B, and it's almost honorable mention because it is like, yeah, I feel like if we tried to argue him being higher than B, he'd lose coolness. Makoto, definitely B.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think Angry Punch Girl is great. I like that other Street Fighter characters have like a lot of their powers come from like, some of them at least come from like mystical martial arts, magical stuff, and Makoto's power is she's just so angry, dude.
I think that she is great.
She's just so mad.
I've said before, I love the angry tomboy.
Yeah, but I also like the dichotomy of this character who has the slowest walk speed, but she dashes and she's like a bullet. That's sick. Like, that's genuinely really cool, her movement, which is like not something you can really say for a lot of characters in this series.
Yeah, I think that she is, I mean, she's definitely beloved. Like I said, on that poll, she came in number 2, but it's entirely because people wanted her to be DLC. But that still has validity to it. That still means something.
Yep.
And again, her design is so simple. And yet, it works. It's great.
It's very similar to Ryu.
Yes.
It's almost similar to Ryu's.
Yeah, and when I was doing the Street Fighter Retrospective and I was studying, like, the location test, everybody in both North America and Japan at the location test were like, Makoto's the best. We all like Makoto. She's great. So even from, like, the beginning, she was a fan favorite. And there's not a lot to her. She's literally just, I want my dojo to succeed, and I'm mad. But it works.
Yeah, I'm poor. She's mad because she's poor, which is relatable. Something also I think is like underrated is like I think the sound the sound design on her is insane.
Very much.
Because I think out of a lot of the characters, you can feel the impact on all of her attacks so hard in both 4 and 3, you know?
Higher than Dudley or lower?
No, I don't think higher than Dudley.
Higher than Urian.
Yeah. I'd say, I would say higher than Urian.
So right there.
I think she's more hyped than Urian.
All right then, right there. 12.
Cool. Okay, weird character by far, weirdest by far. Has an air dash, has really cool animations. Like, this is a kid that I think is cool, but I don't need this character back. He's definitely like D, but like endearingly, like you know what I mean? Because he's just such a weirdo and he's really cool, but I don't have any feeling. He's just a jobber.
He's carried entirely
he's an elevated jobber.
He's carried entirely by animation. Like, animation is great, but there's literally nothing to this character. Like, he is just a robot that fights. That's it. Like, the only reason he's not
Glorified
in just
jobber.
some guy is because he does have lore. That's it. All right, Ingrid.
Here's the thing about Ingrid.
I step back to let you talk, yes.
So here's the thing about Ingrid. I never cared for this character, not because it's like, oh, this is like anime, blah, blah, blah. I never cared for it because it's like, the few places where she was like in the story, I didn't like that she was like this elevated goddess character above like the rest of the cast. So I'm like, that's kind of like, this is my cool OC and she's the goddess and blah, blah, blah. That being said, it's not like she's really ever been canon. So I can't be like, I'm so curious what she's gonna do in 6 because like she's technically never been canon and now she's getting that chance and I'm like, what does this mean? I think her moveset and her animation, like, moveset-wise, she's pretty fun. I like playing her in Alpha 3 Max. But it's a character where I don't have strong feelings because I just don't know what they do with her. And we're gonna see, but I don't have strong feelings on her because of that. Right?
I am so, man, when she got announced to be coming back in Street Fighter 6, there were 2 reactions. There were the people who lost their mind because, yes, it's this character I've been wanting back forever. And the other half was people just going, no, how could you bring this horrible thing back? Oh, no. And I'm just sitting there like, both of you guys are idiots. What? This is, no, who cares? This is such a, like, why are you getting this emotional one way or another about this character? I feel nothing about this character, but that doesn't mean, it's not like D where if they got ad, I'm like, oh, dude, no. But at the same time, she did get ad. We have seen that she's getting ad, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I would put her, like, above Gil. Like, that's perfect, because this is a character where I'm like, I'm not hype, I'm not mad, I'm severely interested in what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and again, the problems with Ingrid aren't the character's fault. You know what I mean?
It is everything around her that is why she is a problem. And none of it is her fault. To me, she's like, maybe it's just because she's insanely pale in this picture, but I'm just saying, she's like tofu. She's nothing, but depending on what ingredients they add, it could be really good. All right, Seth.
Dude, talk about, okay. So, I started with Street Fighter mainly with 4 era, and even though I know, like, a lot of people are like, Seth is just generic human stand-in gray guy, what always struck me was that his voice, I swear to God, one of the best voices in this history of the franchise.
It is the perfect voice they gave him.
So good. And honestly, I think having him go into a woman's body and, like, having that meltdown of, like, where's Bison, like, really, like, I didn't hate him in 4. I think they made him really cool
The
in 5.
design is sick as hell
like,
in 5. That is a great design. And also, gameplay-wise, Seth is the first character. When I went through that entire retrospective, like, I kind of like Zeku. Zeku was kind of interesting a little bit, but then I got kind of bored. Alex I enjoyed a little bit, but then I got bored. G we're gonna get to in a moment, but yeah, I was like, okay, G's kind of fun. I'm having a little bit of fun. Seth was the first character going through that entire roster that was like, oh, Seth is kind of sick. Seth is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, if it was just Street Fighter 4 Seth, I'd be like, C, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I still might put him in C, but I go high C now.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that. Yeah, I would put him at the top of C. Like, this is a character I'm very personally, like, I think is really cool, but, like, yeah, I do agree that, like, I do understand that he got better in 5. He was kind of just generic man in C. But the voice and the tandem engine, like, are the coolest
It is
things
really
about
cool.
him, for
Like,
sure.
I remember when I was a kid, like, I don't know if this is something that's normal for other people, but I will often just get not songs stuck in my head, but just lines that people say in games stuck in my head. And I remember for years I had "Behold the glory of the Tandem engine" just stuck in my head because that line delivery is so good.
And his laugh,
Yes.
dude. His laugh is great. And by the way, big ups for them not, like, giving him the woman body in 5 and, like, keeping the voice.
Yes,
That is awesome.
That took boldness. I applaud that.
Yeah.
All right. Now to go the other, man, I'm kind of thinking B now a little bit.
I mean, I would put him over G, or Q,
Over
I mean.
Q? All right. Yeah.
Right.
I'll do that right there. Abel.
Okay, dude, I'm sorry. I know Seth, generic gray man, but Abel's generic man. Yeah.
Abel is one lore drop away from being just some guy. I hate saying it.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, Abel's a good dude. You know, tips well, pays his taxes, but, you know, he's just some guy. There's nothing that interesting
Yeah,
about him.
his moveset's
Yeah.
fun, but I feel like you could apply his moveset to, like, almost any design. Like, his moveset doesn't really tie into his design that much other than, like, the judo outfit. It's very funny, by the way, that Manoa is just Abel but better, but we'll get there.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing. When you apply a character's moveset, when it comes to ranking them on here, that moveset also has to feel like it is connected to that character. Like, I cannot give Chun-Li's moveset to someone else. That's Chun-Li's moveset. Abel, you could just create any character you want and just give them Abel's moveset. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abel's D. Sea Viper.
Glad she's coming back. I love her design. I like that she's like, she fights for her daughter.
Very
she's
cool.
Like, she, you know, I love fighting game moms, like, you know, Vanessa,
Yeah.
KOF. I love her too. I love that she's a spy. Well, they're both spies. I mean,
Oh my
okay,
god.
interesting.
And they both have red hair.
Yeah, and they have red hair, and they have the tie. Oh god, wait, hold on. But yeah, she has the. I think, dude, it's kind of funny. I remember when this character got shown off, and a lot of people were like, "This character feels like they belong in a Marvel versus."
And then you gotta add Marvel versus.
Marvel 3. Yeah. What a cool character. Like, very inspired. Like, very. This is a character that shouldn't work in Street Fighter, but does.
Yes.
Right.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, and I did like that she was the first tech-based character, which I thought was a really cool take. She has an incredibly sick design to her. I don't need her to come back, but the fact that she is coming back, I'm like, you know what? About time. It's fair.
Yeah, about time. I would put her above, like, Balrog, or I'd put her next to DJ.
I'd put her above
I don't
DJ.
know. I kind of like her more than Sodom. Or
I was gonna say,
Adon,
more
though,
looking at
right?
this, Sodom
You?
goes below DJ now, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put her above Adon too.
Yep. I
There
think
we go.
that's a
I'm
good
not putting
spot
her
for
above Charlie. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Rufus, I'm gonna let you talk on this one.
Okay. Here's the thing about Rufus. You know, at the time, you know, I didn't have as much context, and I personally, I didn't really hate Rufus. I think, here's the things that I think are going for him. I do think his relationship with Ken, I do think is funny because Ken pulls the Thanos, like, I don't even know who you are. I think that's funny. I like that he's like a wife guy, like his girlfriend Candy.
I do kind of like that too.
Yeah, like they love each other. She supports him a bunch. He loves her. I think that's really sweet that he has, like, you know, a girl that, like, he really loves and she's really supportive of him, and they go traveling together. And I think his moveset's, like, fun. I just think, like, yeah, I understand why people think he's annoying. I get that it's another it's fat joke. And the elephant in the room, like,
King Cobra.
King Cobra, yes. Yes, I think we all would have wanted King Cobra, but how would have we known that at the time,
Yes.
right? Like, I'm not gonna, like, I do agree, I think King Cobra was cooler, I would have wanted him, but I'm not gonna use King Cobra to be like, Rufus sucks, because that's just what happens sometimes with concept art, right? Would I want this character back? All that being said, with the positives, no.
Okay. Good. Yeah, and this is the other thing that I'll throw in here. I'll get a little bit personal on this one. I'm pretty skinny these days, but when I was a kid, I was a fat kid. I was fat until I was like 20 years old or something. Like, I was way overweight. And so I remember around the exact same time, Rufus got introduced and Bob got introduced. And I just remember looking at Bob and going, finally a cool fat guy in a fighting game. Freaking finally. And then you had Rufus with just this awful haircut and just constantly making jokes about his weight. And I was just like, dude, I feel bad about this. Now that I'm a little bit older,
his voice is also very grating. I get that his voice is grating.
Yeah, but now that I'm kind of older and a little bit, like, I've separated myself from that a little bit, I'm like, okay, I do like I think he has a funny running gag of constantly wanting to challenge Ken, and Ken has no idea who he is. And I kind of dig that he's also a biker, and that he's got his girl Candy. All right. But that is all the positives I can really give him. He was also pretty top tier, I remember, in 4, but that's...
He was very good for a while. Yeah, he was very good. But yeah, it's like you said, I think, like, the difference between him and Bob is, like, Bob is made to be cool. Like yeah. He's heavy set, but he is a cool guy. He has a lot of swagger to him. Whereas Rufus was, like, made to be a loser, and, like, yeah, that kind of sucks. So, yeah, I like, even though I think I'm older and I do think there are positives for Rufus, that doesn't escape him from D tier.
Yeah, I'll put him, like, right there. El Fuerte.
I have no idea what to make of this guy, dude. Like, he's just a big food joke and he yells Mexican foods, but his run, like, his, like, slippery command run, like, there is something fun to that.
He's kind of fun to play as.
Yeah, it is. I like that also that he's, like, canonically a terrible chef.
Yeah. He does have actually a pretty fun, good running joke. You know, he's the first Mexican wrestler to be put into Street Fighter. He's
true.
All right.
I feel like here's the thing about him, like, he's fun and he's a little bit funny, but I feel like to get a Mexican wrestler character, I want them to be cool. Like, I want like a king equivalent, like Tekken King equivalent.
That's true.
Not like, again, he's just part of the goofball era. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's as endearing as some of the other goofier characters, but like I don't think he's like D. I think
I wouldn't go
like
D.
Bottom of C, right?
I put him like around
above
like
Remy.
Above Remy. All right, cool. I'll do that. Ed, because he canonically appeared in Street Fighter 4 first.
Dude, so this is a character I liked playing in 5 actually, and then they made him even cooler in 6. And I like that his lore is like, especially because of his themes being the only ones that have lyrics, and like they tell a story of how like I'm on borrowed time, like, you know, my age is accelerating, like what is happening to me, I have to like fight back for my life, and I like his relationship with Balrog. I think this is a character that really grew on me because I did like him in 5 playstyle and design wise, but then he only got better, and I like his place in the lore and how he's like making a group to fight Shadaloo or like squash out the remnants. This character has gone from like to at least B to me, right?
He went from D to low B, I would say, because
low B, yes.
Yeah, because when he first appeared, it was like, all right, it's an interesting thing to do with Balrog, and then they gave him an outfit, and it was one of the worst outfits in the entire game. But his playstyle was interesting. The idea they had with him in 5, they did not flesh it out enough. In fact, everybody thought he's a new villain. So I love that in 6 they came in and went, no, that's not what happened. No, we are not villains. This is what we're actually doing. And yeah, what they're actually doing is very interesting. I think that he's got like a great backstory to him. His playstyle is still fun. Yeah, I'd go low B now. I'm not going above you.
Yeah, right next to Yun and Yang.
Yeah, people would kill us if we put him above Yun and Yang. Okay. High A or World
This is A at least,
High
right?
A or World Warrior. I have never seen a new character blow up this much and remain big to this day. To this day, when new players pick up Street Fighter 6, they go, who's this Jury character?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about all the additions they did to 4, and like I think the only character next to her would be Viper, and and only now is Viper getting like that comeback, and people be like, yeah, I want Viper. Jury's always been there, like.
Jury's design is sick. Her voice actress in both English and Japanese is amazing, is perfect for that role. A great new villain for the franchise who's got some depth to her. Playstyle, incredibly fun. Yeah, her playstyle in 5 sucked. I really hated her playstyle in 5.
Yeah.
Fixed it so well in 6. Man.
And what I like about her as a villain is that, like, she has beef with the other villains.
Yes.
Like, her and Seth and her and Bison, like, she's tied to them, where she's, like, this sinister, evil character, but she also is, like, she's kind of just, like, a wild card, which is really cool.
Yeah. I've described her many times as a Cheshire cat, and that's very much what she is. So, high A or World Warrior?
I put her above Bison. Like, I genuinely think she's above Bison. I think she has had some character development to her. I kind of like that in 6, when you talk with her in World Tour, she gives you, like, this sad backstory that, like, isn't even, like, true. She's just, like, messing with you or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I like that devious aspect to her. I think Sagat has, like, I respect Sagat for changing more as a character. Like, I think she's above Bison. I don't know if I personally can't put her above Sagat.
Okay.
But, you know, but, well, I mean, she is right next to Cammy. Yeah, but she's definitely top of A. Like, I don't really think the placement in A matters that much.
Yeah, it's these 4 are definitely the top 4 A characters. I'm not seeing anybody else get up this high.
It's very funny because, like, I don't play Overwatch 2, but it's very funny when they did the collab that it was the Overwatch 2 collab was all Street Fighter 2 characters and then Jury.
Yes. I mean, she's one of the only Street Fighter 2 characters to return, non-Street Fighter 2 characters to return for Street Fighter 6 because they were like, we can never not have her in the starting roster again. Like, she has now become starting roster mandatory if you want that game to sell. Hakan.
Okay, I noticed it was Street Fighter in their goofy area, and this guy is the king of goof. That being said,
he works.
This character, he works. He's very unique, and I think he's cool for a grappler. Like, what? Like, it's kind of a. There's not really a character that's like an install that they have to keep applying. You know what I mean? Like, I like his playstyle. I think he's fun. I think it's very funny. He has like 16 billion kids.
Yes.
I put him in, like, I think he's high C, honestly, for me. I think he's
a
fun character.
Too. Like, I don't need him to return, but if he got announced to return, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, interesting. But yeah, he was the height of goofiness, but he was genuinely fun. Like, Street Fighter during its goofy era was just a comedian making a bunch of jokes that were like, oh, dude, no. But then they told that one joke that was like, oh, that's actually good. Keep that in the act.
Yeah.
Oni. This is why we didn't put Shin Akuma in there, because Oni is just cooler Shin Akuma.
Yeah, like, I guess it's like, I don't know if it's fair to put him in, like, if it's fair to rank him, because, like, he's, like, first of all, his playstyle and his animations, genuinely, probably the coolest character in Ultra 4. Like, oh my god, dude, the super where, like, he punches the ground and, like, takes you up to the sky, insanely cool. I love that move where he dashes and he slashes through you. But again, this is a hype moments and aura character. I feel like he just has to be an honorable mentions out of fairness to the other ones.
Yeah, out of all fairness, like, it'd be weird for him to be the one Satsui no Hano alternate version of a character who isn't an honorable mentions. Also, getting very unfair for Akira to be right there in the middle of all these guys. It's very like, oh, does she have the Satsui no Hano too? All right, Nikali, we're finally in Street Fighter 5.
Welcome to Potential Man.
Yes. Oh my god, the embodiment of wasted potential.
Dude, like, okay, cool design. I think, like, from a lore perspective, they were kind of mogging Ogre from Tekken. Not that that's, like, the worst thing you could do. But, and I think his moveset was kind of cool. That being said, like, why'd they just make him this big jobber, dude? Like, he could have been this massive world-level threat, and they just didn't, dude. Why?
And, like, the lore around him, like, the fact that Nakayama had to, like, go on Twitter and just be like, oh, by the way, he's the embodiment of the Satsui no Hano. We never explained that anywhere, bye.
But that confused, isn't that what Kage is? I'm, like, confused on that, but we'll get the Kage, I guess.
Yeah. Nikali, God, like, and he's a guy who appears whenever strong warriors are around and the world is in danger. This dude should be a slam dunk inclusion for Street Fighter, but man, they dropped the ball so hard you could hear the thud around the world. Man, like, I want to put him in C because of the potential, but none of it was used.
Yeah, like, this is a character, I'm like, the potential was so cool. He had a cool moveset, but, like, if they announced him back and gave him another shot, I don't know if I'd be, like, excited. I'd
be like, dude, you wasted it too bad. Yeah,
you got your chance. By the way, I do want to mention, I think it's very funny that they gave him a V skill where he just pukes on the floor. Very funny.
Oh my god, I forgot that.
Yeah. But cool character, you missed your shot, like, you know.
Yeah. Rashid.
Dude, I kind of want to put him in A. I'm not going to
I'll
lie.
put him in A. I'm putting him in A. He is the one brand new character from Street Fighter V that I'm like, you know what? Good job. Applause all around.
Yeah, honestly, I like him, like, if we're going to compare him, I like him way more than Shaheen in Tekken, because those two characters are kind of made side by side because of Harada and Ono's relationship.
Harada both had the influence on both of them, yeah.
Yes, and I think he has so much style. He's very fun. I like that he's full of himself. I think the streamer angle they doubled down on, because like in 5 he was the tech guy and like he was on, you know, he was watching FooTube or whatever it was, and then they doubled down and made him the streamer. That's very fun. Like usually like, you know, content creator streamer characters can be like a hit or miss. I think this guy's a hit. I think he's very fun.
I agree with you. I definitely think that they did a great job with this character. Fun play style, amazing personality. He's got the one little bit of story in Street Fighter V that's actually kind of good, even if they didn't know how to do it. Like, the fact that we still don't know what his friend's name is insane to me. But yeah, he is like the one hit from Street Fighter V that I'm like, you know what, you should return for each of the games after this. You were really good. All right, Laura.
Okay, very fun moveset. Like, I played this character, this was the character I played at launch, and I really liked playing her. I love her use of grapples, and like, you could charge a fireball, have the slow fireballs, you go behind, her shoulder moves were very cool. But this is a character I don't need back. Like, I don't need her back. Like, nothing about the design was like super like, oh, this is great baller-ass design. She was fine.
Her design was, we talked about how this was the goofy era of Street Fighter. This was also the horny era of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Laura was like just the embodiment of just like big boobs, big butt. That is what this character design is. And when I keep thinking about her personality, I'm like, all right, she's energetic. But then after that, it feels like her entire personality is, I'm sexy. And I'm just like, dude, this is Street Fighter. Everybody is sexy. That doesn't make you special. That doesn't make you stand out.
She also stole the spotlight from Sean, so.
Yes. Again, it's one of those characters that whenever you think about it, everybody, even the people that like her, have that little like asterisk up there that goes, I would rather have Sean back.
Yeah, I think she's D. I think she's D for me. Like, carried by the moveset, man, because I think she's fun to play, but that's it. I put her top
I was going to
D,
say
right?
the same. I'm glad that you're there with me, because I know there's going to be a hardcore Laura stan out there who's going to be mad about that. Especially after we hear your opinions on Fong.
Like, here's the thing. Goofy, I think what makes Fong feel worse than me now is we have better Fong who's named Aki.
The one thing that makes me kind of like Fong is his appearance in Aki's story and also his appearance in the World Tour map, but he ain't playable in the World Tour map.
I did like the comic they did with him and Aki. Like, I thought that was an interesting, but we didn't get that in game. That's the thing, we didn't get that serious. Like, I think if Fong was played more seriously and was this menacing Assassin's Guild character, like, I honestly like his, like, more, like, crime syndicate, like, depiction than the goofiness we got in 5, right? Like, but the problem is that's not in the game. It's not what we got, right?
If Fong was played straight, he would be such a better character, and the reason why I feel like it's worth bringing up is because when you read the external material on this character, like the stories that they put on their website or the comics, he is played straight.
Yeah.
And he is better. We've seen it. Oh, yeah, I'm not a fan.
No, I don't think so either. Would I say is he better or worse than Laura? I mean, like, I don't know. That's the question, isn't it? I would put him below
like
Laura,
right there.
I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so. Also, honestly, at this point, I think that the D class, we're going to have to go through this entire D class and figure it out again, because I'm like, Abel does not feel like he belongs down quite this low now. Like,
no, I mean, I would
Abel
move him
there.
up, but like, yeah, those are just early placements. I think, like, to be at the bottom of D, you have to, like, offend me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah.
Minot.
Bro, where is she? Like, what a cool character, man! Like, dude, what an inspired apprentice character for Rose Dog. Like, seriously, one of the most, like, I will complain about the problems of 5 all day. Most of the OCs they made for DLC later were, like, some of the best designs they cooked in the series, dog.
She
like,
was
no
the
joke.
turning point for that game, because when she dropped, it was like, wait a minute, there might be hope.
Yeah.
Hold on. Someone at Capcom still knows how to make characters.
Yeah, personally, I'm also just a very big sucker for the Egyptian aesthetic. Eliza in Skullgirls is one of my favorite characters, so I love Minot's aesthetic. I think she rocks it really well. Her weapon is it's so cool, and the way that she utilizes it, having that trap setup character is also extremely cool and fresh for the series.
You have to have a 10,000 IQ to play her, but
yes,
if you can play her, it's very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a B character because I think this is a character a lot of people want back, and I would love to see her back too, right?
I would put her high B. Where in high?
I put her above. Next to Karin, because I think people love Alex and even Rose a bit more.
I think people are happier to see Alex return than they would be to see Minot return. But I mean, I don't know which of these two people would prefer to return, but I'm telling you right now, I would far rather have Minot.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
Not to mention, we've already got what's-her-face already coming back, Ingrid.
Yeah.
We do not need Ingrid and Karin in the exact same game. One of them is just the blonder version of the other one. Falk.
Okay, I'm biased because I think this character's moveset is the most fun I had in 5. I think this character plays very fun, but there's her design's cool, but she's kind of just Ed without all the lore attached. She's a member, she's right next to Ed, but she doesn't have that Balrog relationship with anybody, right?
Her character is, I like Ed.
I don't know, I like her. I think out of bias, I think if I'm not being biased, I could argue for her in D. I'm biased, so I would put her in C, but yeah.
I gotta look at where she is compared to the other characters. There's nothing
She's
that
cooler
interesting
than the
about her
dolls,
character.
at least. Yeah.
She is. She is definitely cooler than the dolls. She is a character who I would be willing to see come back, but the only reason I'm really saying that is because Street Fighter 6 has proven time and time again, we can take those characters you didn't really care about and make them interesting. She is enough of a blank slate that I definitely think you could do some cool stuff. It's not like these other characters like Nikali where they just you lost your chance. You haven't lost your chance with Falk. Falk could be cool. But at the same time, I think if they made her like Fong, where she just appeared in Edge World Tour story mode, I'd be all right, that's fine. G.
This is honestly next to Q, because I think they're connected, and I think they're a character what's going on with this guy, we don't know.
A lot of what's cool about Q is also cool about G.
Very inspired, fun design.
Fun design, playstyle is great, but man, Q is a huge question mark. G has some questions answered, and it makes me go, what are you even doing?
Yeah, what's his end game? And the fact that there's other characters who are just being of great destruction or whatever, and I'm huh? What's happening? And then there was a really cool video I remember watching where a lot of his moves are Q's, but full powered. So now it's is there something there? It's the one letter. He has the outfit where he looks like Q. I mean, very clearly to me, all intentional, but I think it was done in a way of, I think it was done to make people wonder, not done because it's we have a plan here. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I think there's no plan. I think they have no clue what they're doing. But now that they've put something out there, it's all right, you got it. Here's the thing. Q, we said earlier, the more you know about him, the less cool he gets. So it's all right, he should remain a total mystery. But they already started putting some stuff in there with G. And because of that, I look at G well, you gotta at least explain G. Yeah. G has enough personality and enough stuff there that okay, he's not like Q. You can't leave him a total question mark. We need some answers with G. I would honestly be very hyped if he returned. Yes. Because then we get World Tour mode and we get some answers. I'd be very intrigued to see what happens.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
He was a fun Unga Bunga style character in that game. He was a character that was just fun to go in with.
And he was very striking. I mean, when that character got revealed, people were oh, whoa, this is a really cool, what is this guy's story? This
Everybody was wondering what his deal was. It was a big moment for the series. Also, character design-wise, he passes the silhouette test. Yep. You look at that and you go, yep, that's G all right. Kage.
Dude, Kage. I am so confused on what this character is supposed to be, because to me, from my understanding I thought he was the remnant, because obviously they can't have Evil Ryu because he beat the Hado or whatever. I thought that this character was supposed to be the manifestation of the Hado, And then he goes to Sagat, but then, like, I guess that's what they said. Nakali? Well, I don't know what this
then
character is.
Then they said it was Nakali.
I don't know what Kage is. Like, no idea what Kage is or supposed to be.
Kage was, we need evil Ryu in the game because people like his playstyle. We don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So
honorable mention,
I had fun playing as
guess.
him. I'm not going honorable mention because there is enough, like, he's in there enough as a playable character. Because here's the other thing. Honorable mention, I think people will be fine seeing evil Ryu come back as like a non-canonical thing.
Yeah.
As just like, hey, we just wanted the playstyle back in there. Kage is them trying to take a non-canonical appearance of evil Ryu and making it canon. And I feel like people did not like the execution on this. I feel like they did.
No, and he got like announced randomly, and like I don't like people. I think people really liked Evil Ryu in 4 because of that design where he has the heart like ripped out of him, and like I don't know, he's like an ogre-esque. I don't know.
Yeah, which I
don't know.
I know a lot of people hate that. I'm fine with it, but I can't deny people didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm going with D. Like I think they fumbled way too much with this character. 11, I'll say 11's an honorable mention because he's just random select, but it's a cool take on random select.
Yeah. I mean, honorable mention or just some Kai, I'm gonna be honest, but at least he's like, I guess he makes sense in the lore, so I guess it's honorable mention. You're right.
And now we finally come to Street Fighter 6.
What a 180 on this, but like, that's the hard thing about Luke. Like, I love this guy now.
Yes.
But also, you have to count his 5 appearance too, right? I mean, even if it was like, oh, this is just a little teaser, I still think it counts.
It still counts. When he first appeared, he was low C to me. Like, I don't care about this guy at all. He's high B now. So I would go like around Maki-ish.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking maybe next to Sean, because I think they're in the sense of like, these are fun younger characters where like, I think if there was a Street Fighter 7 in like 10 years and Luke was revealed, I'd be like, oh, that's nice. I liked Luke enough. You know what I mean? I would feel the same way about, that way about Sean as well, right? Like, I think now I would love him. I love him a lot more than back then. But it's not as strong, even though I adore him now. He's definitely like, you have to factor in his past and like, I don't feel as strongly excited to buy him by other characters. It's just because it's, he's still new, but
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, almost every single one of the Street Fighter 6 characters are going to be in B because they're great, but they're still so new that it's hard to put them up in A. Speaking of which, Jamie.
I like him more than Yun and Yang, I'm not going to lie,
I like him more than Yun and Yang, I got to be honest, yeah.
He's got that cocky attitude to him. I do like a really fun interpretation of Drunken Fist style.
Yeah.
He has got fun animations. I really like him, man. I mean, I'd put him next to Viper. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'd put him right there. Man, also, the more I'm looking at Adon, the more I'm like,
Yeah, you're a little bit of, go down there,
You're really high up there. Manon? I think out of all the new characters, she's maybe the least interesting, but I still really like her.
Her moveset's very inspired, like ballet, judo.
Yeah.
It is very cool. Like, I think a character who literally dances with the opponent for their moves, and has that elegance to them is very inspired for a moveset. But that being said, like, I don't get excited by her, but I think she's cool enough.
Yeah, like, we're talking about, with a lot of these other characters, we're talking about, like, okay, what if they got added to Street Fighter 6? Well, now that we're talking about the characters who are from Street Fighter 6, here's the way that I'm looking at it. If you had to pick a character from Street Fighter 6 to appear in something else, like a crossover game, or a commercial for the game, or like merchandise, or something like that, how strongly would you feel about that character being the character that represents Street Fighter 6? And if they chose Manon, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, that's
interesting.
That's weird. That's the character that you.
Interesting choice. Yeah, I would be like, that's an interesting choice. I wouldn't be mad, but I'd be like, that's a weird choice, right?
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, I like Manon. Manon's fine. She's like, she's low B because I still do really like her.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Also, like, she's got the sickest critical art where, like, man, everybody keeps asking why is it taking Street Fighter so long to make these characters? Look at the detail of the character interactions in Manon's critical art and then realize they have to program that in for every brand new character they make.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably slowing down the entire development of this game by that one move alone. But it's worth it because it looks so good.
I I would put her above Ed.
Above Ed, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Kimberly.
Bro, like, I think out of all the newcomers, her and Marisa, like, to me, hit the hardest, and I think Kimberly is so fun and inspired. I love that she has that, you know, classic hip-hop graffiti aesthetic, which I think was missing. Like, it's funny, because, like, Street Fighter 6 are, like, we want to go back to, like, the streets and, like, have that hip-hop vibe, and then, like, it didn't manifest as much as I wanted. But I feel like out of all the characters, when they were saying we want to go for that vibe, Kimberly rocks it the best. I think she's fun, and I'm glad more people now are like, oh yeah, Kimberly's awesome. Like, like you were saying, if there's like a crossover game, who would you want to represent 6? It'd be like her.
Kimberly, I could totally see being a representative for this game in something. Yeah, I think that she fits great. I've seen her connect with a lot of characters out there. Yeah, when she first appeared, I saw people being mad because it wasn't Maki. But now I think that we've had 2 years of it, I've seen a lot of those people like disappear, and now just the fans are left. I think her playstyle is a lot of fun. There's a ton of personality in how she uses the spray paint. And again, it is unfair saying this, but all the characters in World Tour have a ton of backstory and personality, and I really appreciate hers. Also, her alternate costumes, amazing.
All of
her main costume, also really good. Yeah, one of the better looks in there. I think she's great. Is
she? Yeah, I feel like right next to Urian, like for sure.
Yeah, I can't put her above Makoto. Yeah.
No.
Marisa, I will admit I'm biased. She's my main. I love this character. Great personality. First openly bi representation in Street Fighter. Appreciate that.
Nakayama just put that art of her with the bi heart on her arm.
The director of Street Fighter just randomly dropped online. Oh, by the way, here's Marisa with the bi flag. There you go. I appreciate that. So, Marisa, great inclusion. Playstyle, I know in the game itself she is very low tier because this is a throw-heavy game, and she has armor, which doesn't mean anything for throws. However, oh my god, when you punch someone square in the face with a fully charged Gladius, it's one of the most rewarding feelings in the game. Same thing goes for like her grapple that she has. I love armoring through everything. Her personality is so good and just big and bombastic and
her
charming.
Theme too, like you hear her theme and it's like, oh, we're entering the stadium now, like you know. Yeah, and no, like I agree. I was saying earlier how sound design is really important for Makoto. It's the same for her, dude. When she hits you with that level 3 and Allegra Clark, her voice actor, just pops off like, take all of it. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like, it's so satisfying. Landing everything on this character is so satisfying. The screen shakes and everything, dude. Like, I think she's right next to Kimberly, dog. If she was in a crossover game, I'd be like, hell yes, dude.
I'm going that high. Like, the only reason she's not getting the only reason these two aren't getting higher is just because these characters have more history.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah, it's next to impossible for any brand new Street Fighter 6 character to break into this top row of B. Lily!
Dude,
I really like Lily. Lily's a lot of fun.
She's fun, and like, that's it. I like that. I think it's cute. She's like T-Hawk's daughter, and she has like his idol stance with the clubs. I think it's cool she has the clubs. That's also pretty inspired. That being said, this character doesn't do anything.
Great animations, I'll say that.
Yeah, she's fun and cute. Honestly, I would put her next to her dad in C.
By the way, I don't think it's ever been confirmed that she actually is the daughter. I think she's just like, she's part of the same tribe, but I don't think that she's his daughter.
Oh, I just assumed that because like, I remember playing World Tour and she's like,
there's that artwork in there.
Yeah, T-Hawk and Julie together in her ending, and I just took that as like, oh, that's her dad, but...
Yeah, he's just the head of their tribe. I don't think that he's actually her daughter, her father, yeah. But I'd put her above Colleen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd do that, yeah. There we go. JP, what a great new villain. Man, we needed something different from Bison, and they nailed it.
Evil Accountant is great.
Yes. After so many just like, I'm the megalomaniacal dictator who wants to take over the world, it was so good to just get like, oh no, I'm just a businessman. This is all just business for me. I love that take on.
Very Bond villain-esque in the sense of that like, he's a guy in the background pulling the strings. He's not the big flashy villain.
And also, move style is a very unique new thing to do with psycho power. I appreciate that. Voice actor kills it. I really want to see where they go with this. That's another thing that we have to point out. The story of Street Fighter 6 isn't even done. Like,
Right.
this is taking on that live service, like every update gives us more story about these characters. So it's not even finished. So we have no idea where this is going. So I do need to see more of where this all goes and how JP's story ends. But man, it's so intriguing to me right now.
Yeah, and like like this is not his fault. It's just like I think Bison's new design is cool, but like part of the reason I was like, man, really Bison's, because I feel like it took away from JP. Like, I think JP's really cool, and I like his aura, and I think, like, okay, it's gonna be cool to have this guy as the big bad pulling the strings. Where's this gonna go? And they're like, by the way, Bison's back. And I'm like, well, then, like, I get it, but you set up JP to be this, like, really cool, mysterious guy, new big bad, and then you kind of pulled the rug from him a little bit with that, right? But that's not his fault.
It's not his fault, no. Yeah, and also, like, in the comic that they did leading up to it, he is so malicious in there. He's such a good villain.
Dude, grimy. It's funny. There's a line in that comic that when I was reading it at the time, I thought was, like, really funny. He goes, like, oh, like, content is, like, a weapon that we can use. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny. And then, like, and now I'm like, oh, shit. Like, they actually everything in that comic, like, managed to, like, age well. And I'm like, that's kind of, that's rare. That's kind of rare.
The fact that JP sets up Ken using AI fake imagery, and this was, like, 3 years before that became a huge problem. Yeah, JP is, like, the fighting game villain for our times.
Yeah, he is menacing from the background, which is awesome. I would put him in B. I think I'd be like, above, like, Sodom, at least, right?
Definitely above Sodom. I'd go above JP. Above DJ. Above Jamie?
Maybe not above Jamie, right? I feel like that's a good space for him.
There we go. I'm cool with that. Also, we have a 4-person square of the Street Fighter 6 characters right there. And the final character, Aki.
Wow, way to fix Fung?
Yes.
So my thing about Aki is I think her moveset's really cool. I like that she uses these lashing claws. It's a different style of claw than Vega. I think she uses poison in a really cool way too, where it's like she poisons you and then like she can cash out the poison to do extra effects on her attacks. That's really cool as well. I think this is just a me thing. I think she's a little like too insane. Yeah. Personally, like Juri's crazy, but I think Aki's like above Juri craziness, right? Like,
yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that one. Like they went all in on that. And it did kind of make me feel like, oh man, you're taking some of the limelight away from Juri on this one. But I do love her playstyle, even if I don't personally play her. I think that she did fix a lot of the stuff with Fong. And also, I love that, like, she was first introduced in a comic, not even a comic, no, in just a story on the Street Fighter website after, like, the first season of DLC of Street Fighter V. Yeah. So it's crazy that she's been built up this long. So I love that they brought that back around. Really shows the progression of time within the Street Fighter universe, which I am a big fan of them showing that. And yeah, they came up with so many new cool things to do with the poison. I'd put her above Saddam. I definitely would.
I agree. I think, like, we're talking a theoretical, there's a new game. Would I be excited for Aki come back? Absolutely. But I would, like, I think DJ is just, like, for me, like, more fun legacy character that I really enjoy. So I don't think I'd say she's better than DJ. Yes. Just because of her personality-wise as well. But yeah, I think that's a good placement for her, too. All
right. That is all the characters, although I will just so that Akira isn't all there by herself, I'll put Mai and Terry as honorable mentions. There you go. There you go. But now all the playable characters are on here. So, let's look at how we have them ranked. Is this how we want to keep it? Ryu at number 1, Chun-Li at number 2, Akuma at number 3, Sakura at number 4.
Thinking off the top of my head, and I think all these characters should stay up here, and I don't think the order is fine. Like, I think Chun-Li is obviously very important at number 2. I wouldn't put, like, Akuma above her. So, yeah, I think that's a good order. Okay. Now, we gotta think about
do we move anybody up to S?
It's hard. Like, I think the ones you could argue for S would be, like, Ken and Cammy. Like,
I wouldn't argue Sagat for S.
No,
Sagat,
I wouldn't argue
fine
Sagat for S.
But Ken and Cammy, those are the two who arguably could go up there in S. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to say put them both up here because in my mind, these are the 6 characters who I feel should always be in a Street Fighter.
They represent, I think I can agree from the point, I think these are the characters that represent the series the most.
Yeah, and they don't always have to be in the starting roster. Like, I'm fine with Akuma being saved for later, but I feel like in any Street Fighter game, these are the 6 who you need to have in there.
Yes.
Sagat, I don't think needs to be in every Street Fighter.
No, but I do like his place in the story and in the world. So, and I think he's grown a lot, and I do respect that because, like, again, that's not a lot of fighting game villains that have that happen to them. So. Yeah.
Then Jury after that, I totally agree with that. M. Bison, that works. Cody, should Cody be this high?
No, but he should still be an A, I think. I think
he
we
should
can
still be
move
an
him
A.
down, right? Like, I would like him more than Dan, right?
Yeah, I go right there. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Then Blanca, very iconic, very popular. Zangief, the grappler of fighting games. Then Cody, Dan Hibiki, the Mr. Joke character. Rashid.
I think we could put Dan at like the bottom of A. I mean, maybe Dan above Guile. I don't know if that's fair. I mean, I think that's a good place for Dan. Yeah.
Okay. And Rashid, I definitely think, like I said, that was a home run hit. They did great with Rashid. Rashid, Dalsim, Dan Hibiki, Guile. That worked for A.
Maybe Dan can go above Dalsim and Guile because I think people do get excited for Dan. I think Dalsim and Guile are great characters and they're fun, but I don't think I think you can have a Street Fighter
Nobody
where they
gets
are
hyped
in the
for
game.
them.
Yeah.
But people do get excited for Dan.
Yes.
Now we move into B. Should Poison be the top B character?
Maybe not.
I agree with that.
But maybe she could go like right next to Kimberly.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because I do
agree.
Think she's
you know, the more
really
I think about
cool.
that, the more I'm like, yeah, Dudley I would want more in a new game. Makoto I would want more in a new game. Minot I'd want more in a new game. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elena, you know what? I was saying Elena maybe should be A. So her being the very top of B, I can see that.
Yeah.
Then Ibuki, Rainbow Mika, E Honda, Rose, Alex, Minot, Karine. I'm going to actually put Dudley above Karine.
Yes, I think Karine should go next to Poison. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh my God. There we go. All right. Kimberly, Marisa, Urian, Skullomania, Gin, Sean, Luke, Oro, Vega, Charlie, Sea Viper, Jamie, JP, DJ, Aki, Sodom, Adon, Garuda. You know what? The more I'm looking at it, the more I think Balrog maybe needs to go.
Yes, I would put him next to Sodom, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go right there because he's just a little too important and like he didn't have anything to his character, but Ed add a lot to his character.
Ed did add a lot to his character.
So I'm gonna go with that. Garuda is here totally on vibes, and the more I think about that, vibes are good. Gotta
Not
knock
as
him
good
down.
as Lucian. Yeah. Maybe put him like next to G. Cause like he is like a random job, but I think like
all three of these are the vibe characters on B. Yes.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Okay, so now we go from Adon to Lucia to Maki to Necro to I think Yun and Yang are more important than Necro. Like I really like Necro, but the more I think about it, they gotta go up a little bit.
Do you think they would go above Lucia and Maki? I think.
I was just thinking about that.
Let's put them next to Adon. Maybe Adon could go below them, like between
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Perfect.
That feels better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yun, Yang, Adon, Lucia, Maki, Necro, Manon, Ed, Seth, Garuda, GQ. That good for B?
Yeah, I think like maybe Sodom. Yeah, Sodom's fine there. I think Sodom could go below Adon or next to Adon maybe. Right?
Where the hell was Adon? Oh, so like right here?
A little down a little bit. And
I'm okay with that.
I'm thinking about Gen and Skullomania because like I don't know if they're like above Sean. Right?
The more I'm looking at this, we got a lot of good characters right behind them. So I would go.
Yes.
Honestly, I'd
maybe
put
Gen
Luke
can go
above.
next to Oro and Skullo can go there. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I like that.
I'd say so. That works. Okay. Now into the C. Hakan, Lily, Colleen, Zeku, Fei Long, T-Hawk, Guy, Hugo, Rolento, Ingrid, Gil, Gokin, Pulamperna, Eagle, Retsu. I'm gonna put. I think Eagle and Retsu.
And Eagle can go a little bit lower, maybe, or Eagle
Little
can go
lower?
up one. Yeah, Eagle should go higher, maybe actually.
Yeah, I'd put them like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Pulamperna, Retsu, DiCapri, El Fuerte, Remy, Doctrine Dark, Nanase, Darm Mister, Shadow Geist, Volcano Rosso. These are the ones that I'm like, okay, how do I even rank these four? Volcano Rosso goes above Shadow Geist.
Yeah. I would put him above Darin just because I think his design's a little bit more inspired than Darin.
Yeah, and I'd put Nanase a little bit lower.
Yeah. I'm wondering, do we think Hakan is top of C over Zach?
The more I look at that, I'm like, I wouldn't put him the top of C.
I do think he is a really fun,
he's
funny,
fun.
Yeah, he's fun. I would put him like maybe below Seahawk.
Below
And I say that because I think T-Hawk and Phelan are characters I would want to come back and see them do more with lore-wise. I think Hakan could come back and be like, that's a fun choice, but I wouldn't be like, oh yes, finally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do we think Phelan and T-Hawk should be higher, are like top of C then, or?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, T-Hawk and Lily are next to each other now.
Yeah, that's good.
And now we go into D, Kage, Laura Matsuda, Fong, Falk, Julie, Junie, Nikali, Rufus, Abel, 12. Man, this entire one, I'm like, I don't even know where to put these characters.
Here's my thing, right? I think the EX characters are sort of next to each other because like they're cool, but they're not like characters that we like they're kind of apathetic to them.
Yeah.
But Birdie and Abigail are like actually offensive to me. So that's why they have to be at the bottom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like they have to be the bottom. 12 is here solely just for appearance, just for his animation. Abel, you know, he's a good dude, but he's such a blank slate. Rufus has got some person. I would put Rufus above Nikali, actually.
Yeah.
I would put Abel above Nikali.
Yeah, I mean, Nikali just goes devour, hour, and that's all he says, so...
Yeah, he just got screwed over so bad.
How do we feel about the Julie Junie, though? Because, like, now I'm like, these characters feel a little bit more generic than those guys, but they're not offensive.
I'll put Rufus above them.
They're on par with Abel, right? Like, they're in that same boat, yeah.
In terms of personality, yes. Okay, so Kage can be the... No, I'll put Laura at top.
Yeah.
Laura's at top of D. Kage, Fong, Falk, Rufus... Julie, Junie, Abel, Nikali.
That feels right to me, right?
I'm almost tempted to put 12 above Nikali. No.
Yeah, that's too far. It's too far. Because, like, okay, I think 12 is, in the lore, 12 is a soldier jobber, dude. I think that even though Nikali was a jobber, that's, you know, he got played by
the only reason 12 isn't in just some guy is because he does have unique animations that are interesting.
Yeah, and he plays unlike anybody else.
That is true. All right, so then for the EX characters, Crackerjack, Arya, Blair Dame, Haruto, let's see, Sharon, Alan Snyder, Hayate, Kairi. Actually, Kairi's got more personality than Hayate. Yeah. And then Blei Hakuto, because, man, this is a character who did not need her own Evil Ryu version. And then Birdie and Abigail.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like I said, the difference between the EX characters is like, they're cool, they're fun to play, I have no feelings about them, I'm kind of apathetic, but Birdie and Abigail like actually like make me mad.
It's upsetting.
Yeah, so those are why, that's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Holy shit, look at how many Street Fighter 5 characters are in D. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But see, that's the problem. Like, let's say, you know, all the problems of Street Fighter 5 like still happen, but the story mode was good, and like maybe we had like a little bit more into our arcade routes where we got more on these characters' personalities and lives, etc. I think it could have bumped them up. Like that's why I'm happy Ed and Rashid like you know, got another chance on life, because like it shows that these characters are like cool and can have a chance to shine given the right, you know, environment.
Ed and Rashid prove it is possible to make good characters from Street Fighter 5. All right, I think we actually did it. That is every Street Fighter character ranked. Holy cow. I'll be honest with you, that took us 3 hours. I thought it was gonna take like 5. So this is actually pretty good in my books.
Yeah, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, thank you, Ultima, for joining us here today. Let everybody know where they can find you.
I am Ultima Shadow X on Twitter. I am also Ultima Shadow X on Blue Sky, and Ultima Shadow on Twitch.
And you also have a YouTube channel?
I do. My channel on YouTube is also Ultima Shadow X, and I'm very excited to be a part of this. Like, I love the lore and the life of these characters, so I'm really glad that I get to yap about them.
Yeah, and it's good to find somebody else out there who really enjoys like the background on these characters as much as I do, because you know you want to make a tier list with somebody about Street Fighter characters. Most of them are going to talk only about the playstyle, which is very important. But you know, here on Thorgy's Arcade, I've mentioned this several times. We are the fighting game channel for people who aren't good at fighting games. We're here for the people who don't want to know Chun-Li's moveset, they just want to think Chun-Li is cool. So I wanted to do a tier list with somebody else who kind of appreciated all the background and all the characters just for beyond their movesets. I am very tired after all this, if you guys can hear me slowly petering out. But thank you guys very much. As I said, it is EVO Weekend. I'm not going to be there. Ultima, are you going to be at EVO?
I am. I'm going to miss you, buddy.
Yeah, last year was my first year at EVO, and it was a ton of fun. I got to hang out with you and a bunch of other people, and it was so much fun. Hopefully next year I'll be able to go to Vegas and see you guys again. But thank you all for staying through this massive video. I hope you guys have a wonderful EVO weekend. Make sure that you go and you follow Ultima around the web, and make sure that you follow the amazing artist who provided not only the thumbnail, but also the artist who provided all these little character portraits you've been watching this entire time. I will link to everybody's locations down in the description below. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, we are really close to 100,000 subscribers. I want that plaque. I want to get that plaque by the end of this year. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit that button. It would help us out so much. But that's it. Thank you all again for staying through this massive video. I hope you all have a wonderful EVO weekend. Stay safe out there. Come back next time.